Hello and welcome to another live stream of from Wickets and Pickets. I'm Declan Hooper and we're here with Richard Hanson. Good to have you back on the channel, Richard. And
great to be here.
And looking forward to what should be a good game. So today we've got the Delhi Capitals versus the Rajasthan Royals. What have you made of the IPL so far?
It's been great to have a bit. It's been great to have it back on the screen. To be honest, given that it's been 4 or 5 months delayed. There's been plenty of runs scored so far. We've not had any low-scoring thrillers yet. I'm pretty excited to perhaps get one at some point.
No, but I mean we've seen it, like it's been all happening. We've had a couple of super overs. We had Graham Maxwell almost getting another super over by about one bounce. So it's all been happening.
Absolutely. So in case you've missed it, Delhi Capitals won the toss, elected to bat. Stephen Smith, the captain of the Rajasthan Royals, said he would have batted had he won the toss. And we've got the two openers out in the middle right now, about to face the first ball from Jofra Archer. Jofra Archer, fresh off a series win against his captain, Stephen Smith.
All right, I'm just pulling it up now.
So who have we got opening for the Delhi Capitals? Right.
Sorry.
Right. Well, so we got Archer bowling to Prithvi Shaw, and let's see how we're going. 3, 2, 1. Let's play. Like as I said, Delhi Capitals won the toss and chose to bat. Here's Archer bowling over the wicket, and he comes now, and he clean bowls Prithvi Shaw first up. So there we are. Definitely, yeah. Yes, it looks like it pitched just outside off stump, angled in, and Prithvi Shaw just played completely down the wrong line. So it's pretty much the perfect start there for the Rajasthan Royals. You've got Prithvi Shaw on his way back to the pavilion, and they're none for one. Goodness me, I'm glad we started this broadcast on time.
Yeah, indeed. Jofra Archer has been pretty on fire in the IPL thus far. Got most dot balls than any other player, so he's definitely making an impact.
Yeah, he's scored a few crucial runs down the order as well. So he's definitely been a good purchase for the Royals, especially with his wicket-taking ability at the top of the innings. So now we've got Ajinkya Rahane coming in at number 3. Ajinkya Rahane, who kind of made his name in Indian cricket at least by batting for about 15 years against the Australians a couple of years ago. So it'll be interesting to see how he goes in the shorter form of the game.
Indeed. Right. Sorry about this. Just experiencing some technical difficulties on my other screen.
Don't you worry about it. This is why I just I'll just talk to fill in the silence. So. So we're here in we're in Dubai tonight. I wonder what the par score. I think they're probably both sides would be looking for kind of 170, 180. But then again, matches in Sharjah, we've seen 210, 220 chased down with relative ease. Here's Archer to Rahane, who sort of angles in again from outside the off stump. Bit of extra bounce. It hit the handle of the bat, but sort of squirts out to mid wicket, and there's no run.
Yes. Well, watching the IPL, I've noticed the scores in Dubai have been slightly lower than the other ones. A bit more of a slower pitch. So yeah. I think depending on how we how they've started, which is Rajasthan have started very well. So
here's Archer again to Rahane, who bowls a wide down the leg side.
I think. Look, even 160 is a very playable score here.
Yep.
I think the biggest thing for Rajasthan is to make sure that they get the openers out cheaply, because recently the openers have been scoring pretty freely, and all the way down to 4 have been scoring quite a lot of runs recently. And then you've got the likes of Stoinis that can finish off. So
here's Archer again, bowls into Rahane, who's sort of tucked up slightly into his ribs there, but again, there's no run. 4 balls down, 1 for 1.
There we go, and you'll be pleased to know I am on the screen.
Excellent. Excellent news. Good to see you there. But yeah, so I mean, dew is obviously not as much of a factor in Dubai as it is in Sharjah, which obviously makes it quite difficult to get any purchase on the ball. So teams seem to be scoring runs for fun. But yeah, Jofra Archer's made the kind of best start possible, really. I was looking at a replay there, and it looks like Prithvi Shaw got a massive inside edge there and crashed into his middle and off stump.
Yeah, great way to start the innings for Jofra Archer there.
Yeah, absolutely. Best way to restrict a team in the T20s by taking wickets, especially at the top of the order. Archer's in again and bowls another wide down the leg side, taken by the keeper, Joss Buttler. So it'll be another one to the total. Mr. Extras is doing quite well so far in this innings. 2 for 1, and no score for either batsman as yet. Ajinkya Rahane yet to score, 3 balls faced. Shikhar Dhawan been stuck at the other end since the beginning of the game.
Indeed. We've also got the likes of Alex Carey and Ashwin also coming in. Obviously, Alex Carey on the back of scoring that century in the England one day. Is interesting to see him obviously getting the nod with...
Archer again bowls Fuller this time and driven to mid-on, and there is no run.
With Pratt, Pratt injured at the moment. So... it'd be interesting to see how he goes.
It will. Yeah, it will. And Archer in again, and kind of a carbon copy shot there, and just driven up to mid-on for no run. Yeah, no, you're totally correct, and it's been interesting to see a number of the sort of international imports are going. Obviously this time with it being played at a neutral venue, obviously there's no crowds, but the Indian batsmen, they're not quite Indian. Indian players are not quite used to having sort of home ground advantage, knowing the conditions. So in some ways, it leaves the door open for some more of the internationals to do quite well. Last ball of the over now, and he steers it down to third man there, Rahane, to get off the mark. And there's 1 run there. Delhi Capitals 3 for 1 at the end of the first.
Yeah, I think we've had thus far in the IPL, we've had a bit of a mixed bag. Obviously, Joss Buttler scoring 70 the other day, but then also the likes of Virat Kohli scoring runs, MS Dhoni not scoring runs. So it's been a real mixed bag as far as the international players and also the Indian players being in the runs.
Yeah, I mean we're probably going to lose. We're probably going to lose a lot of followers by me saying this, but I just think MS Dhoni, perhaps his best days might be behind him right now. But like I said, many apologies to all of our Indian fans.
Yeah, God, that's sacrilege, I think.
Yeah, like I said, I apologize for what's about to happen, but yeah, I mean, I think he probably could have done well. I know he's retired from all international cricket, but I think he probably could have done well to perhaps bow out of everything at the end of the World Cup in 2019. But who am I to say? He's scored a lot more runs in the international arena than I have. So who we got the other end here? We got a nutcut round coming at the other end. Steve Smith's just issuing him a few orders. Hopefully, this should be relatively simple here, line and length. And I think the Delhi Capitals will be probably looking to make hay here. They're going to need to get a move on if they want to get this run rate up. Only scoring at 2.57 runs per over currently.
So Darshan's just asked, would you play a spinner in the power play? I think, judging by it thus far, the pitch looks relatively quick, but it might be an interesting play to actually throw the spinner in. I noticed like the likes of Rashid Khan and some others have both been getting wickets and also slowing down the scoring in the power play. So definitely an option.
To Darwin, who just slashes at a wide one outside off stump, makes contact with absolutely nothing, and there'll be no run. Yeah, no, Darshan, you're totally right. It's always good to bowl a spinner in the power play. Takes the pace off the ball. Obviously, to the top end of the innings, the batsmen are going to want to be trying to use the pace as much as they can. But Jofra did pretty well in the last over. Got some purchase off the seam, off the pitch, and we might as well make use of him at the top of the innings. Here's Nadkat again, bowling over the wicket, and they managed to sneak a single into the covers there. That adds 1 to the total. Delhi Capitals 4 for 1.
What did you make of Ben Stokes and Josh Butler opening the innings the other day? Obviously, Ben Stokes didn't score too many runs, but interesting choice to put him at the top of the order.
Yeah, they're obviously targeting those first 6 overs. They're trying to get as much firepower up there as they possibly can, and I guess trying to get in front of the game. You've seen in a number of matches in the series where teams have gotten quite far ahead and have managed to kind of steal defeat from the jaws of victory. So I think they're probably thinking they need to maximize as much as they can at the top end.
I think so as well. I think.
Here's a nutcat again, and a little bit of movement there again. You've got this time you've got Darwin sort of floating outside of off stump and is beaten through to Butler, and there is no run.
So he's been beaten a couple of times already, Darwin. So I wonder if his eyes just a bit out at the moment.
Yeah, and he looks to me like he's kind of feeling for the ball a little bit. I think he's not scored too many runs of late, so I wonder if he's just trying to feel bad on ball there and perhaps get the first boundary of the innings.
Indeed. So I think, what have you made of the Delhi Capitals IPL so far? I mean, obviously sitting second in the table.
Here's a nut cut again. This time it's sort of angling in from outside the off stump, defended into the offside from Darwin, and there's no run. Yeah, I've liked what I've seen from the Capitals. Tuwatia scoring runs for fun, and they've obviously got a lot of firepower there, and they've got some good bowling options as well. So I think they'll be there or thereabouts come the back end of the season and the playoff time.
I think they've got the balance well with the internationals as well. I think they've got obviously a lot of Indian internationals as well as a few overseas players.
Yeah,
Rabada being one.
Ben Stokes coming back in obviously as well.
Yeah, I think
Nutcat comes in again, and this time Darwin manages to kind of flick it off his hip out sort of deep in wicket. They're going to take 2, takes the score on to 6 for 1. But no, my apologies. Ben Stokes, of course, plays the Rajasthan Royals, and you were asking about the Delhi Capitals. But yeah, no, they do have a good sort of combination of local and international talent there. It's interesting. They're just showing a replay about Jofra Archer, his kind of load up, his action is exactly the same whether he's bowling 150k or whether he's bowling 130k. So it must be really, really difficult to face.
Hey, I think that's probably testament to his the amount of dot balls that he has in all forms of the game. Like I think
Unadka comes in, bowls short and wide, and is summarily dispatched by Darwin through mid wicket for the first boundary of the innings. Into the second over, Delhi Capitals 10 for 1.
Yeah, I think Jofra Archer. It's clear that he's a tough player to play with all the dot balls that he bowls.
Yeah, and obviously that's what you're trying to target as a T20 bowler. To be as economical
100%.
as you possibly can.
100%.
So I'm assuming that Jofra Archer is going to be throwing the ball again. I think he is. Yep,
he is indeed.
I've got one. He's in again for the first ball of the third over for Rahane facing, and Rahane is watchful, and it just dribbles down, and Jofra does the feeling off his own bowling. There's no run. 10 for 1.
Currently going at 6.29. So sorry, 4.29 rather.
Yeah.
So obviously, need to make the most of this power play for later down in the inning. So be interesting to see if they can pick that up a little bit.
Yeah, Rahane here struggling to get anything away really. Oh, there we go again. Archer comes in slightly shorter this time, and Rahane attempts to kind of uppercut it over the keeper's head and makes contact with nothing. And there'll be no run. He's 2 off 8 now, so he'll be looking to get a move on pretty quickly. And some ways in T20, you're almost as the batting team hoping that he might lose his wicket. If you'd rather him go out than just kind of take up precious time in the game.
Indeed.
But perhaps we're not quite there yet. Maybe I'll put the commentator's curse on him. Here's Archer again, and not timed. And Rahane is caught at mid-on. So there we go. I've magicked him. Commentator's curse. Magicked him out of the inning. So he's gone for 2. Delhi Capitals. This slide continues now. They're 10 for 2 off 2.3 overs. Archer's managed to get himself 2 wickets in his first 2 overs. He's currently 2 for 3. And Delhi Capitals 10 for 2 now. Yeah, that was just a bit of a nothing shot from Rahane off the toe of the bat, taken quite easily. I
think that's the other thing that dot balls do. It does put pressure back on the batsman to start playing shots. And obviously, when Rahane there, 2 off 9, so not scoring all that quickly and looking to play shots and gets caught.
Yeah, absolutely. So that's enough for him for a while anyway, and that brings Shreyas Iyer to the crease. So obviously he's not one to hang around. So
no, definitely not.
I think we might see some. We'll be trying to up the ante anyway. You've also seen, across the IPL, and in T20 more generally, teams going after particular bowlers. I think it's probably given that Archer's taken 2 wickets already. There might be quite a bit more watchful with him, and to kind of make hay at the other end.
And that is one thing with Rajasthan. I feel they're while they have obviously terrific openers, I feel their middle order bowling could be improved, shown by the amount of wickets they've taken this IPL. That is
Iyer's first ball from Archer, and it's a short and wide one outside off stump. I think it's cracked into the covers there, but fielded quite nicely, and there's no run.
That maybe might be opportunities later in the innings. So I've just checked the average score for the Dubai International Stadium is 155.6. So
Archer again. Got a bit of bounce off the pitch there. It's got it left alone and called wide. So a bit too high. So they'll bowl that again. Currently 11 for 2.
Yeah. So and also interesting to note that generally speaking, that there's been a pretty even split between fast and spin bowlers taking wickets in Dubai. So it definitely has the opportunity to make hay for the spin bowlers as well later down the line.
Yeah, absolutely. And call me old-fashioned, but I don't particularly enjoy a T20 match that's 230 runs plays 220 runs. So you've got to have something in it for batsman and bowler. We've got Archer coming in for the last ball of his over now, and short and sort of into the leg side. They'll pinch a single to square leg. End of the over now, and Delhi Capitals 12 for 2. Shreyas Iyer 1 off 3, and Shikhar Dhawan 6 off 5.
Speaking of that, did you see Shane Warne's tweet the other day about how to improve T20?
I didn't, but I could probably guess what it says. Shane Warne's pretty good at offering improvements, even if none are needed. But enlighten us, Declan. Tell us what he said.
I'll just find it now for you. So how he would improve T20. One boundary as big as possible in each venue. And on small grounds, keep the grass in the outfield long. 2 bowlers have a maximum of 5 overs, not 4. 3-day pitches must be used, so no flat roads.
Here's Tyagi, first change coming in. Bowls to Shreyas Iyer, and short and foot. It was quite so full just outside off stump, driven to mid off, and there is no run. Yeah, look, I definitely agree with Warney. I think those things would help kind of redress the balance between bat and ball. And he makes no secret of what he was good at on the cricket field. Obviously, he wasn't a batsman himself, so obviously he's trying to make it a bit easier for the bowlers. Look, I agree, but both sides have got a bat on it. So if it's a road, it's going to be a road for both innings.
Well, this was what I was thinking. And also, the one that I don't get is the short boundary. I think again it's a similar thing. It's both teams have got got use of the short boundary. So I'm not sure about that. Also, I think if you give 2 bowlers 5 overs instead of 4, then you'll probably have an extra batsman in, I'd say, because that would mean that you'd only really need 4 bowlers.
Yeah, absolutely. You could get away with 1 over from a part-timer perhaps if you need one.
Yeah, exactly.
Here's Tyagi coming in again, bounding in long strides and sort of angling in there, and they'll pinch a single up to mid-on, and there's 1 run there. So 13 for 2 now, Delhi Capitals.
Tyagi is obviously on a run of games now. Didn't start the first couple for Rajasthan, but this is his 4th game in a row, and did quite well against the Sunrisers the other day. So we'll be looking to obviously take some wickets here again.
Yeah, absolutely. But it's a bit difficult. It can be sometimes quite difficult bowling at the other end. If you've got a guy at one end taking wickets and not conceding too many runs, batsmen are going to look to target you. So, you can perhaps go for a few runs, but you might be able to pick up a few wickets yourself. Tyagi in again over the wicket, and down leg side helped on its way by Shikhar Dhawan, and it's gone for 6 over fine leg. So it's the first maximum of the innings. Darwin will be pleased with that. He'll probably
beautiful shot, that one. I don't think he could have done better if he tried with that shot.
No, it's a textbook example of using the pace to your advantage. It certainly wouldn't happen if you open with a spinner and bowled a spinner in the power play. But
no, it was beautiful shot.
Yeah, if you're gonna bowl short like that, you've got to make sure it's well directed and just allow Darwin to free his arms and help it on its way over the fence. It's a shame there's no one in the crowd able to catch it. See how he follows up here. Tyagi again, 4th ball of the over. Better ball there, sort of caressed into the covers. There's a sweeper out there though, so they'll only get 1. 20 for 2 now, Delhi Capitals.
It's an interesting point in the innings now. Obviously, two early wickets. So I do think the 2 batsmen in at the moment will have to try and stick it out for a little bit at least, and try and get some runs on the board here, because otherwise it could be quite a low scoring affair. Yeah,
it could go south quite quickly. You want to solidify this partnership before they start trying to smack him. But so there's another short ball there from Tyagi, not wided this time by the umpires, but he's been told it's his 1 for the over. That was a bit well directed there to Shreyas Iyer. You could see what he was trying to do to Darwin. I think he succeeded there a few balls later. But yeah, like I said at the top of the broadcast, Declan, I'd quite like a low-scoring thriller, but not sure how many of them we're going to get. Some of the best T20s, in my opinion, are when 130 plays 125.
Yeah, I agree. I think there's been a real skill in it, especially recently.
Last ball of the over from Tyagi there, and cracking shot, cut shot into the covers, but an excellent piece of fielding from Benjamin Stokes, finalist for 2019 New Zealander of the Year, of course. And there is no run. And end of the over, 20 for 2. Sorry, I've rudely interrupted you there.
No. I was just saying, it looks very refreshed from him. I'm sure his time in quarantine all over the world. Ben Stokes there. Yeah,
I know. He's actually coming on to bowl now, so we'll see how much whether his rest has been put to good use. But yeah, 2 weeks in managed isolation in New Zealand. Of course, he went over there because his dad's not very well, and then obviously quarantine when he arrived in the UAE. And I assume there'll be some more quarantine ahead of him when he heads back to England in November.
Yeah. So yeah. Does it? I know he has played in the past in the New Zealand Summer T20 competition. Is there any word on him playing out there this year?
He has. He's played for Canterbury. I don't think so, just given England's test schedule. I think they're planning on being in South Africa over Christmas. Here's Stokes' first ball, and slower, just driven nicely by Darwin up to mid-off, and there's no run. Yeah, I imagine he'll probably link back up with the England team. I should have thought, but then who knows? Like obviously England are planning to tour South Africa over sort of December, January time, but nothing's been confirmed, and obviously at the moment it's incredibly difficult to nail anything down. I think New Zealand's probably a good shout in terms of having cricket. happen, and I'm sure he could get a kind of last minute T20 contract if he needed to. Perhaps you might even see him turn out for the Australian BBL. You just never know. Stokes in again, and shorter and wider outside off stump, and dispatched to the cover boundary for 4 there by Shikadawa, and that was rubbish from Ben Stokes, if I may say so myself. And 24 for 2, Delhi Capitals.
Won't be getting a BBL contract if he keeps setting up that.
No, and I think the thing is with Ben Stokes, being a New Zealand passport holder, it does make it much easier for him to just drop everything and just head out there, very quickly and start playing. Obviously, means he can do it in Australia as well. You'll often find, especially for West Indians and players from the subcontinent, can find sort of paperwork issues might get in their way to have contracts come through quite quickly, but not the case for Ben Stokes.
Well, obviously, it's we found with Dan Christensen with the blast. Again, same thing going other way with Australians. A lot of Australians have got British passport holders and that kind of thing. So logistically, it does make it a lot easier.
Not easier to just jump on that on that plane. True. So time will tell, and I guess probably might depend on how successful he is here in the IPL. Stokes in again, and this time to Iyer. He sort of flicks it off his pads, going down to fine leg. There's just one there. They'll take one. So 26 for 2. Yeah. Also, I wonder how much he'll probably want some family time. I imagine he's been, if he's not been in a bio bubble, he's been on the other side of the world to his kids, to his wife and his kids. So you got to feel for some of these guys going from bio bubble to bio bubble.
Yeah,
Ben Stokes no exception.
Yeah, looking at a lot of these, a lot of the English cricketers. Obviously, they've done the bio bubble all summer, but then also, if the South Africa tour goes ahead, I'm also reading that they were planning on doing an India tour, whether that be in Dubai or India, at the start of next year. So it could be a long year if that is the case.
There's also talk of the English going to Sri Lanka because, of course, they were in Sri Lanka in March when this all kicked off, and they had to cancel that tour quite abruptly. So we're just seeing Ben Stokes has been called back for a no ball. The last ball is over there was a no ball, so I overstepped there. So this is a free hit now for Shikadawa, so obviously can't be dismissed. So it'll be interesting to see how he plays this. I imagine he'll try and make him go for a few. Here's Stokes, and Darwin hits it pretty much straight up in the air, actually. I think he's probably going to be caught. Yeah, he's caught by Stephen Smith at mid-off, but obviously it's a free hit, so he can't be dismissed.
Bit of a waste of a free hit there.
Bit of a waste of a free hit. No, Stokes bowled very intelligently there. It's a slower ball. Just rolled the fingers across it there, and Shikadawa managed to hit it off the toe of the bat, not getting any timing on it. Aimed to try and really hit Ben Stokes over his head, but just succeeded in hitting it straight to Steve Smith at mid-off. But there we are. Stokes again, and Darwin making himself some room here, kind of manufacturing a shot. Sort of over mid-on's head, only just over mid-on's head, but goes down to the boundary for 4 there. It's pretty lucky to get away with that, actually. That was, that was Shiraz Iyer, my apologies. But either way, it's very typical T20 shot there. Just
just put the kitchen sink at it.
Wasn't too far away from Jofra Archer there at mid-on. Stokes in again, last ball of the over. Slower one again, and just flicked off his pad down past square leg. They'll take 13 off the over. Probably, without a doubt, the best over of the innings for Delhi Capitals so far. 5 gone now, 33 for 2.
Yeah, but especially Darwin looks like he's starting to play his shots a bit more, and he's obviously on 19 now. So if he can continue the shots that he's playing now, then he'll hopefully be getting some decent score here.
Yeah, absolutely. Darshan, it was really neat for Stokes in the power play. Probably not, but I think Steve Smith probably wants to leave Archer for the back end of the innings. So I think he's probably trying to just sneak an over or so in there. After all, the Capitals are only going at 6.6 runs and over. So why not? We got Tyagi resuming, bounding to the crease, and just bowl some rubbish down the leg side, and that'll be wided. So he'll bowl that again. Delhi Capitals 34 for 2.
So thus far we have had 9 extras. So
he's doing rather well, Mr. Extra. He's second top scorer in the innings actually thus far.
yeah,
For Shikadawa. But it's not been particularly accurate over the Rajasthan Royals. Tyagi again, slower ball this time outside off stump. Sort of knocked down into the covers there. They'll take 1, take the score on to 35 for 2. Darwin on 19 and Iyer on 9.
Alrighty, and my just dropped out, so might have to do.
Might have to call it like I see it. No, fair enough. So the last over the PowerPoint. I've been clearly doing other work today. The last over of the power play is here. So it'll be interesting to see how they approach it. Whether they try and keep accelerating through to the middle overs. There we go. Next ball of the over is crunched through the offside for 4. It wasn't particularly short, so it's a little bit wide there. But Darwin's got 4 more. He's on to 23 from 12, so he's seeing it quite well after perhaps a slightly slow start.
Yeah,
it's just made a little bit of room for himself there outside the leg stump, and just creamed it through the covers and crashed into the boundary for 4. Picture of Steve Smith not looking particularly amused.
he
wears his heart on his sleeve as the ex-Australian captain.
His face tells 1,000 stories, doesn't it?
Indeed. Tyagi, see how he follows up, slightly straighter here, and it's kind of worked through mid-wicket. Terrible misfield there from I'm not quite sure who that is.
It might have been Jofra Archer there, was it?
No, I don't think it's Jofra Archer. Jofra Archer was at mid-on, but whatever's happened there, he's conceded a couple of extra runs that will not please his captain at all, considering what's just happened. Delhi Capital 42 for 2.
That wasn't going all that quick either. That was very poor fielding.
Yeah, it really was. That's almost like he wasn't watching that.
Zoned out.
Anyway, three more to the total, so that's fine. 42 for 2, and all of a sudden, Delhi Capital is just starting to look a bit more respectable here. They might accelerate through the middle overs here. Tyagi again, given some extra room again by Shuras Iyer. That would have probably hit middle stump had he not connected with that. Just out to square leg there. They'll take 1.
He's got quite a weird action, doesn't he? He's that step away to make some room. I mean, it's a very 2020 type of way of batting, isn't it? Like.
Oh yeah, making use of all 360 degrees on the ground, I think, is the way to do it.
Yeah, it's I mean, obviously when it pays off, it pays off. But as you saw there, like how many times have you seen them chop that up?
Slow one from Tyagi to Darwin, who just picks it up, helps that on its way down for 4, down to fine leg, and 47 for 2 this time, Delhi Capitals. Yeah, no, I completely agree. I think. You'll be dismissed a few times in your career looking rather stupid, but when it comes off, managing to hit 6s over the keeper's head, for example, proper T20, live by the sword, die by the sword. But you can see these two that they work quite well together, because obviously Shikadawa and much more of a sort of classical batting style. We've got Tyagi in again for the 5th ball of the over, slower ball, and no contact made this time by Darwin, through to the keeper, 47 for 2 at the end of the power play. So nearly up to 8 runs and over, sorry, but not quite. So they'll be on target for around 160 if this remains the case.
So Tyagi going at 11 and over at the moment, so he's been quite expensive, and also bowled some extras as well. So might be time for him to have a bit of a break and save his energy for the final overs.
Yeah, absolutely. I think the Royals bowling attack have been flattered by Jofra Archer. If you take take his 2 overs out of the equation, the run rate goes up quite a lot. So we've got first bit of spin here for the innings. Gopal. It's just let's see how he goes. He's in his IPL career, 39 matches, 42 wickets, in economy rate of 7.82. So it's not too bad. But we'll see if he can make the scoring go up or down.
So he's only taken 3 wickets in this IPL. However, his economy rate is pretty good.
Here he is. Let's see if he gets any spin. That didn't turn one little bit, and it's just worked down nicely to long on. I'll take one. Aya, who has removed his helmet for the baseball cap with a Colgate logo on the back of it. So I hope he brushes his teeth nicely.
Yeah, look, I think it's. I mean, obviously, you'd much prefer wickets, but second to that, you'd prefer not scoring many runs, and he seems to do that quite a lot when he bowls. So
yeah, if you can tie up an end, that's very much very useful for your captain. He's in again, and again, not much spin, but just kind of work down to long on again for a single. 49 for 2 now, Delhi Capitals. Yeah, of course, and often like one thing brings another. You've got economy.
Yeah,
good economy rate does bring wickets. As batsmen look to try and up the scoring rate, especially in the second innings. And similarly, if you're taking wickets, you're probably not conceding too many runs. Shorter this time from Gopal and cut away, but fielded quite nicely by Stephen Smith at sort of short mid wicket there. He's hurt his finger there, but he's a tough man, the ex-Australian captain, so that won't bother him too much, I don't imagine.
Yeah,
again, Gopal and cut away again by Aya. It'll go out to the sweeper there on the extra cover boundary. They'll take one. 50 up now in the 7th over. That's another thing. You get through your over really quickly as a spinner, and sometimes as a batting side, you can look up and all of a sudden there's 3 or 4 overs and they've just gone, and you don't know where they've been. So that's another way.
I do think obviously because he's not all that quick, Gopal, but he does make him slightly tough to score from.
Yeah, there's no pace to help you with at all.
No.
He's got some variations, but you're not going to be ramping him over the keeper's head as they take another single down to deep square leg there, 51 for 2.
And I think Steve Smith's field placement here has been pretty spot on, and obviously bowling to the field as well.
Nice ball of the over, slightly wide outside off stump again, just worked out to the extra cover sweeper there. They'll take a single. 52 for 2 after 7 overs. 5 off that one, not bad for Gopal in his first over.
No, not at all.
Yeah, you're right. He's got a real cricket brain, does Steve Smith. He lives and breathes it. He doesn't really like anything else except cricket, particularly batting. So he's obviously got captaincy experience at the highest level. So no wonder his field placings are pretty good.
Yeah, and I think obviously in T20 every run is crucial. So having the field placements where they are and bowling to them could be the difference between winning and losing.
Absolutely. One bad over can really cost you as a bowling side. If you concede 20 plus in an over, it can be the difference between winning and losing. So Rahul to RTM here coming in at the other end. So we've got spin from both ends now. And his IPL career, 28 matches, 19 wickets, economy rate 7.38. But as we've seen, his batting heroics have been what's made him put his name in the newspaper in this IPL so far anyway.
Yeah, 100%. But obviously, second highest run scorer for the Rajasthan Royals, but surprisingly, second highest wicket taker as well of this IPL. So he's taken 5 wickets in the 7 innings he's played at an average of 31, so quite slightly high there, but. I think, it's a very, very handy player to have if you're second highest scorer, so 189 runs, but also taking wickets as well. I mean, that's invaluable, really, isn't it?
Absolutely. And here he is, second ball of his over, and sort of slashed across the line there by Shikhar Dhawan. Go down to long on, he'll take the single, take him on to 33, and 32, and Delhi Capitals 53 for 2. And I think it's important to remember that he's been a part of a number of quite high run chases, so no wonder his average is quite high. He's probably been conceding quite a few runs despite taking a number of wickets. He's in again with his sort of loopy action, shorter this time to Aya, who just so works that to mid wicket there. They'll take another single. They seem pretty content, these two, now, to just knock it around for a few overs. I think just scoring ones and twos, the odd boundary, and perhaps accelerate at the back end when they've got wickets in hand.
I have noticed that with this IPL, especially that it's all about really timing. Like I think if you do leave it too long, like looking at a lot of the batsmen's kind of runs per ball and their strike rate has been relatively low. So I think it is a balancing game, obviously getting yourself in and sticking around.
Again, shorter, and they're going to take a run there to into the covers. Yeah, they'll take a single there, 56 for 2. Yeah, absolutely. You've got to time your run quite well. I think it's sometimes you can get kind of stuck a little bit there when you're trying to accelerate. Yeah, I mean, there's definitely some firepower down the order for the Delhi Capitals. Stoinis can absolutely hit the cover off it, and Alex Carey's in good form, and Patel does quite well as well. Tewatia again, Fuller this time into the pads again, just worked off the pads out towards deep mid wicket, and there's a single there.
I do. What do you make of obviously the two Australians? I mean, could end up batting with each other, and you've got the two English, Stokes and Butler, batting at the top of the order for Rajasthan, and obviously they've got Tom Curran not playing today, but also Jofra Archer. What do you make of the obviously keeping the international players that obviously play together, and that translating into the
Tewatia, slight. Oh goodness me! So Tewatia managed to full of ball, sort of launch out to the sort of deep mid wicket boundary there. Nearly a brilliant catch there, but he's missed that. He's missed that off the half volley actually, and it's gone to the boundary for 4. He's disappointed with himself there, so he should be. It would have been a spectacular catch out there. Getting back to your previous point, I think it's important to maintain those combinations. These guys will be used to batting with each other, so you might as well get that to continue the sort of chemistry at the wicket there.
Yeah, and I think obviously especially the Australian team, but also English team as well, that the running between the wickets has been like a staple for how obviously England win the World Cup and Australia on the rise, getting them runs between the wickets. So I mean, that understanding's a big thing too.
Absolutely, Gopal continuing now, and just sort of pushed down the ground there by Iyer to long off, and they'll take a single, 62 for 2. Yeah, I do agree. The
other thing that I'm just looking at, also you got Ben Stokes, the left-hander, with Josh Butler, the right-hander. Mm-hmm. The variation there too, it obviously makes it a lot harder bowling to a left and right-hander. But bowler got to change the line a little bit, and obviously changing the field too.
So wider now, and just worked out to the extra cover boundary there. They'll take 1. Yeah, left-hand, right-hand combination is obviously more difficult to bowl to, and also in the case of Butler and Stokes, I mean, Stokes can really he really does have kind of 2 speeds of batting. He can shut up shop if he needs to. If they need a quieter over or 2, he can preserve his wicket, and obviously he can go mental if he needs to as well. Gopal there slightly slower, and just sort of worked into the onside there, and they'll take 1.
It is looking like Gopal. He's bowling really well. I mean, thus far he's not been smacked at all, and he's making it tough for the batsman to score any more than singles really at the moment.
Yeah, absolutely. Good sort of changes of pace there. Work down to long on there. They've taken 2 there. That's good running from Iyer and Darwin, especially taking on the arm of Ben Stokes. He had to throw it to the keeper's end, so it was quite a difficult, quite a long throw there. But they do get home 2 extra to the total, 66 for 2.
Yeah, that was great running between the wickets. It's been a bit of a feature of especially the modern T20s, the running between the wickets, and obviously Virat Kohli the other night for his 73 was lightning between the wickets, and the likes of Dave Warner and these elite batsmen. It's definitely a staple of them is the rapidness between the wickets.
Absolutely. MS Dhoni obviously is the trendsetter as far as running between, turning those ones into twos is concerned. Lots of other players have, I think, emulated him.
Yeah, 100%, 100%.
So last ball of the over now for Gopal, and Io is forward and just pushing into the covers. They'll take one. So at the end of 9 overs now, nearly halfway through the innings, and Delhi Capitals 68 for 2, and they'll take the first strategic timeout now, and drinks will come onto the field for 2.5 minutes.
Finally poised thus far. I think obviously Rajasthan getting off to a great start, but Delhi have worked their way back into it. Solid stand between these two now.
Yeah, you can. It can obviously go either way. I think the Capitals have brought themselves back into the game. They've obviously not lost any more wickets, so they're still 2 down with nearly almost halfway point. So I think they'll probably look to just knock it around again for maybe up till 13th, 14th, 15th over, and then kind of go from there. Meanwhile, I think Steve Smith will be looking to take some wickets at inopportune times for the Delhi Capitals.
Yeah, I mean, look, in saying this, the Delhi Capitals have only scored one boundary in the last 4 overs. So it is. I mean, slowing down. They are getting a lot of singles.
And that one boundary was actually arguably a drop catch. So yeah. So you're not wrong. But they've obviously got a bit of a strategy now. They're not throwing their wickets away. So maybe they think it's going to be easier. Maybe they think it's going to be harder to chase.
Possibly. I'm looking at the record at Dubai International Stadium. Though there is a pretty even split between the chase and also the chasers, and as well as the team that have batted first.
Yeah, so, sure. Delhi won the toss and did elect to bat, and Smith did say at the toss that had he won the toss he would have batted himself. So I think you do see a lot of teams who win the toss in T20 elect to chase, just because it's easier. You can see what you've got in front of you, and you know what the acceptable score is going to be. But yeah, it does strike me that the pitch may slow down at the back end of the innings, especially if the ball gets older and that kind of thing. So, remain to be seen. But I'm hoping that it'll be kind of a 150, 160, chase, just given that it leaves both sides in the game.
I mean, current run rate is 7.55. So, I mean, they're going relatively quickly without putting the foot down, if you know what I mean.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's easy enough to just score ones and twos, and all of a sudden, 7, 8, 9, and over the odd boundary here and there, and it's the thing. It's easy enough to accumulate those runs.
So if they continue to go at this rate, they'll get to 151, which is just below the par score.
Yeah, so I'd like to think they'll accelerate a bit, but yeah, you're totally right. Leaves both sides in the game.
Yeah.
So we've got Ben Stokes now returning for his second over. He was a bit expensive in that first over, going for 13. It was a slightly slower one, a bit shorter. Just worked down to fine leg there for a single now, and Delhi move on to 70 for 2. Yeah, Darshan, I don't think. I'm not going to say for certain, but I don't think Smith will bowl an over. He always looks like he's kind of doing something wrong when he's bowling. His action leaves.
Yeah, that's how we got batting number 7 for the Australian team is a tricky leg spinner.
Yeah, he did.
First got into the Australian team, but
he did, but he certainly changed that perception now. scoring runs for fun and all grounds all over the world.
Yeah.
So here's Stokes in again, and bowling to Darwin this time. And slower ball, full toss. It might almost be a no ball actually. So work down to fine leg again. Yeah, no ball there. It's a bit too high. I think Stokes must have slipped out of his hand or something.
Yeah, that was a bit unlike Ben Stokes. Usually you can pretty well rely on him for bowling relatively accurate, but that was That was
that's much. That's a lot higher than waist high. So
yeah.
Absolutely no question as to whether that's going to be a no ball. So this will be yeah. So will this be a free hit? Yeah, free hit here coming up. Free hit coming up, and Aya hits it straight up in the air again. Although this time he manages to get a fair amount onto it. It's gone for 6. Oh no, 1 bounce 4 over the bowler's head there.
the Glenn Maxwell 1 bounce 4.
Yeah, that was just throw the willow at it and hope for the best. Really, there wasn't a lot of intent in that shot. I think he just swung and hoped there. It almost looked like a bit of a mishit. Yeah, he's got a top edge there, and thankfully he's timed it, or thankfully for him anyway, he's timed it well enough to find the rope.
Yeah, that was it was almost like a baseball shot, that one.
It was, yeah. Stokes follows up quite well. Oh goodness me, Ayers sort of hit that to mid wicket, who shies at the stumps there, but concedes an overthrow. Fairly poor. There's been some pretty poor pieces of fielding from Rajasthan thus far. Actually, it should really be. I'm not sure they should be conceding too many overthrows like that. There was a run-out chance. It really was on actually.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, he's long gone. There's a replay there. If he hit the stumps, if he had direct hit there, that would have Darwin would have been long gone.
Yeah, didn't even bother putting his bat down. So,
no, just gone for all money. Stokes like shorter now, and Darwin just works that through the leg side. They'll take 1 out to the sweeper there.
So Darshan asked, who would come in after the wicket fall? Would it be Kerry or Stoinis? I'd probably suggest it be Stoinis.
I would agree. He can hit a long ball, can old Marcus Stoinis, and especially if there's not much time left in the game, I think he'll be in next.
He can go quickly as well, which is another thing. And then and if you do need someone to score some runs at the end.
Oh goodness me! Stokes to Aya ramps that over the keeper's head and doesn't go quite down to the boundary for 4, but they'll get back for 2. The man down there at third man, we're getting around there and cutting that off before it gets to the boundary. Sorry, I feel like I'm interrupting you a lot, but T20 the action does continue quite quickly, doesn't it?
Yeah, can't get a word in.
Yeah.
Terrific shot there, though.
Yeah, really inventive there from Aya. Just goes to show that he really is a T20 specialist. Here's Stokes again, last ball of his over, and another slow one outside off stump, full toss actually, but good piece of fielding there in the covers. And there's no run there. So end of the 10th over, 10 gone now, 79 for 2, the Delhi Capitals. So 160 looks to be roughly what they're aiming for. If they double their score from here, they'll get 158.
Yeah, and I think I is averaging 40 currently in this IPL. Obviously got an 88 not out too. So
always make the most of your not out. So you want to make the most of it, improve your average.
Yeah, definitely. But it's got a 42 against the Mumbai Indians as well. So he's definitely relatively in form.
Oh, absolutely.
So look, if these two can stay in and continue doing what they're doing, the total will be quite substantial and quite hard to chase down.
Yeah, absolutely. But it was also, I think, important to remember that Archer's got 2 left. He's 2 overs, 2 for 5, so he's not going to be easy to score off. So I think there might be a couple of quiet overs in there, but they'll definitely look to make hay from some of the other bowlers. Tawatia comes in again and driven by Darwin out into the covers, and there's no run, 79 for 2. Yeah, it's very, very quick in between balls here. He's in again now, and it's like flatter and shorter there. But again, just worked into the covers. No run again. There's 2 dots in a row. Fielded there by Stephen Smith, and they won't trouble the scorers. 79 for 2.
These spinners have been Tawatia and also
Tawatia over the wicket now, and this time Darwin just kind of lofts that over the sort of extra covers head. This time it'll go down to the boundary for 4. Jofra won't pick that up. 83 for 2.
Commentator's curse. I was saying it's been hard to score off, and then pulls out a lovely shot like that. So
we're pretty good at giving the old commentator's curse, aren't we?
Yeah, that was a terrific shot. Yeah,
Mm.
it was. I mean, Sugar Darwin's obviously a kind of an all forms
So what's he
cricketer,
up
and
over the wicket now, and he'll just work that down to past a short fine leg there. They're gonna just made him move slightly to his right to take that. So they'll take a single. It's Darwin on to 49 now. He could bring up his 50 fairly soon.
yeah, and as I was saying, he's a kind of an all forms player. So
Mm.
it he's got obviously the T20 shots, but he's also in his bag. He's also got the more steady Test cricket shots, like what we saw there, which was just a nice straight kind of shot.
Yeah, absolutely. He's in the Test side for a fair old while, with old Shikhar Dhawan. I think he's not there anymore, but yeah, he's definitely played all three forms of the game for India. So you can definitely
Yeah,
tell that he's got those skills. He's on strike now. He's on 49. Last ball of the over here from Tuwatia, who's over the wicket now, and there we go. Darwin just works that down to long on, and he'll take one. He'll bring up his 50 there. It's not a bad little innings there, and yeah, 50 off 30 balls. That's Shikhar Dhawan's 39th IPL 50. So he's scored some runs over the years.
yeah, and in terrific form. Obviously got a 69 not out yesterday,
Mm-hmm.
and is reached the high 20s or 30s in almost all of his other innings. So he's a bit of a steady Eddie as far as getting solid
Yeah,
runs for the Delhi Capitals.
yeah, absolutely. I think, as an opening batsman, I think the best combo is, you get one kind of player who's going to just go nuts from the word go, and you're going to have another one who's going to kind of play a little bit more of a circumspect innings. And it's been the case with Darwin. He's still got a very healthy strike rate, but yeah, it's a good combination for the Capitals. Oh, and Darwin there just lifts Gopal into the stands. Absolutely smacks that for six. That's probably 15, 20 rows back over the extra cover boundary. 92 for two, and you can see all the owners there of the Delhi Capitals, the only people who are allowed to actually watch the game, and applauding and waving flags. Yeah, 92 for two there.
This might be the time where they put the foot on the gas. But it looks like anyway.
Yeah.
They've had a couple of overs to feel out the spinners, and now it's time to.
Now it's go time. Yeah, I completely agree. So go. So Darwin has pulled that sort of deep mid wicket to deep long on. They're just for one, but yeah, they're definitely they've pressed the accelerator down now. I think especially knowing that Archer's got two left. I think they're going to need to start increasing the run rate from now on.
Yeah, I mean, I think be interesting. Like, obviously, you'd want Jofra Archer to bowl your last couple of overs, but I mean, the damage might already be done at that point. So
it's true, shorter from Gopal this time, and just knocked into the onside there. If I'll take a single 95 for two, yeah, that's true. But Unadkat as well. He's only bowled one over for seven, so there's three. He's obviously got three left. So three for Unadkat and two for two for Archer. There's five overs there that could be relatively inexpensive. You never know.
yeah. And I mean, we did see Owen Morgan in the
There's a wide there from Gopal. He'll bowl that one again, far too wide outside the off stump.
Yeah. And we did see Owen Morgan use Jofra Archer slightly earlier, use his last couple of overs slightly earlier in the innings to some effect against the Australians. But I think
reverse sweep here from Darwin, who goodness me, kind of a reverse golf shot there. He manages to get caught down at fine leg. So that's the end of him. 57. Delhi Capitals 95 for three now.
God, that was I mean, he's been batting ever so well, so that was he'd be slightly disappointed with that.
Yeah, he didn't quite catch up to it, did he? He got it on the sort of the splice of the bat there, and just outside the 30-yard circle there, short fine leg was in the game, or was he short third man? Depending on whether if it's a reverse sweep, do the names of the fielders all change? But that's the end of Shikhar Dhawan. So I think we'll probably see Marcus Stoinis now.
Yeah, so it could be more fireworks by the looks of things.
Yeah, it could be. He'll probably want a little bit of time to settle in, but I think the batsman crossed. Yeah, here he is. Here's Stoinis here. He's striding out to the crease with purpose, and I think we'll see some fireworks here. I think.
I mean, he's been doing quite well with the ball more so than the bat. Although he did hit a 50 against RBC the other day, so he's in some kind of form, and did get into the 30s a couple of times against England. However, didn't kick on with it. So it'll be interesting to see how he goes here.
Yeah, it will. He's like you say, he's in a bit of form, so he's seeing it pretty well. But he's probably due a big score, so maybe that'll act as a bit of motivation for him. So the batsman crossed, so Ayer's on strike now just sort of knocked into the onside again. They'll take one, add one to the total. It's 96 for 3.
So
just showing a replay of that shot, and Shikhar Dhawan probably won't like to watch that. It doesn't look too pretty, that one.
No, and he'll be disappointed with that. Obviously, they were in quite a good spot, the Delhi Capitals, when the wicket fell. So it definitely had an opportunity to really kick on with it there. But now over to Stoinis to pick up where he left off.
Yeah, to see what he can do. Iyer on 30 off 30 balls. He might want to look to up that slightly. Obviously, we know what he's capable of. But at this stage, he's just going at one a ball.
He's playing the anchor role, as he will, pretty well thus far. It'll be interesting.
Smith's got a slip in now for Gopal as Stoinis works his first ball just down the ground there, down to long on. Ben Stokes does the fielding. One more to the total, 97 for 3 at the end of the the end of the 12th over.
All right, so just looking at the bowling figures thus far. We've got Taji with 2, obviously going for 11. Ben Stokes going for 12. Gopal going for 7.6 and over. So these middle overs have been relatively expensive for them. So I suppose it's
the last five have gone for 45. So yeah, that's true. Considering that most of the time they were just looking to knock the ball around,
Yeah, it has added up quickly. Obviously, both Australian coaches there got Ricky Ponting for the Delhi Capitals and Andrew McDonald for the Rajasthan Royals.
And Steve Smith, the captain of the Rajasthan Royals as well. So yeah, it's a bit of an Australian flavour tonight.
Well, I know, obviously. Sorry, go on.
Slower from Tewatia, and just work down to long on there by Stoinis. I'll take one.
Yeah, the way Stoinis bats, it does look relatively effortless with his shots. It's not much foot movement, but a lot of swing.
Yeah, that's true. I think he probably does his best to lift as many heavy weights as he can in the gym. as a quote from Usman Khawaja, guns get the runs. So I think Stoinis might be adopting that kind of strategy as well.
Yeah.
And Tewatia in again, and shorter outside the off stump, straight to the covers there. There'll be no run, and so 98 for 3. I think they'll be looking to accelerate as much as they can. I've got a shot here of Kevin Peterson acting animated just for something new and different.
Yeah. Clearly not saying something controversial.
Absolutely not. It's shorter and wider from Tewatia there, left alone by Iyer, hoping that it'll be called wide, and it is not called wide. So,
God, that did look out the line to me.
It did.
From the naked eye. So.
It did, but sometimes you see umpires not calling it wide just to kind of spite the batsman, who's kind of is very much sort of playing for the wide, as it were, which it's not really in the spirit of the game, in my opinion. No. So it follows up there with slightly closer in and lifted over the covers there for 4.
Yeah, that will teach him for not calling a wide, hey?
Yeah, exactly. In some ways, that was looking at the replay. That second ball was about as wide as the first one was, but yeah, just lifted over the infield there. 1, 2, 3, 4 bounces and into the boundary for 4. Stephen Smith not hiding his disappointment on his face there.
Yeah.
So last ball of the 13th over now, and comes in and reverse sweep again this time, and Aya doesn't seem to. I don't think he makes contact at all, but then nor does Joss Butler, the keeper. So they've come back for 2. Just see what the umpire awards this. Is it buys? No, it's runs. So he must have got something on that, but it certainly didn't go where he intended it to.
No, no, that looked like that was the kitchen sink at that. That was everything. But Joss Butler will be disappointed to concede the 2 runs there as well.
Yeah, although now it's not buys. It's not going to look at that. So yeah, no, replay shows he's gloved it, and it's actually gone between the keeper's legs. So not a good look for anyone really. Poor cricket all round. If you're gonna play a shot like that, I suggest you firstly execute it well. But if you can't, make sure the keeper can take it as well. So it seems that anyone who tries to play the reverse sweep ends up looking second best. So maybe put that shot back in your locker, guys, for this innings anyway.
Yeah.
So that's 1,000 IPL runs for Shreyas as captain. 1,004 now. Interesting little stat. We got who's continuing there? Is that Gopal? Is Gopal continuing? Gopal continuing? Yeah, Gopal's continuing there. It must be his. Yeah, Gopal's continuing. It's his third. It's his last over. It's his 4th actually.
4th. There you go. Sorry.
Looking at those replays, definitely gloved it.
So 27 runs for 1 wicket. So it's been slightly expensive, but hopefully looking to get another wicket, and obviously did get the important wicket Shigedawa. So be so for Gopal.
Not a terrible night at the office for him, but as I said, it was a short one. Lifted over the over the infield down towards long on and into the boundary for 4. Ben Stokes can't cut that off. So that's Delhi Capital's 108 for 3 now. So like you said, his figures now have 1 for 27 off 3.3. Not looking quite as good.
No. Ben Stokes almost getting there, but
almost getting there. Not quite. Not even the great Benjamin Stokes can cut that one off.
No. Any idea why he wears the sleeve things? Is that just for his arms for the bowling, or
bit more rubbish there, bowled by Gopal, shortened down the leg side? That'll be a wide. I think he probably could have got 2 for that. That was almost a double wide. I'm not sure the answer to that question. I would think maybe Ben Stokes does have very fair skin, so I wonder if it's something to do with the sort of sun protection, perhaps, because I don't think he's actually wearing them right now. If you have a look. But then equally, it could be some kind of pressure bowling. I'm not sure. I'm sure there's stuff written about it, but I don't know the answer to that question.
No way knowing.
Either way, he must have the most horrendous tan lines. He'll have brown hands and brown shoulders, but have very white forearm.
Yeah.
But Ben Stokes is another member of the Ginger Club, which I'm firmly in, and I can assure you that he doesn't tan particularly well.
So I as 5th highest run scorer in this year's IPL. It's been invaluable for the Delhi Capitals.
Absolutely, and he's almost up to his average again. So he's on 37 now, averaging, what did you say, 42 in this tournament?
So he's averaging 40 at a strike rate of 132. So scoring relatively quickly. I mean, there's some higher strike rates, obviously, with AB de Villiers scoring at.
So Gopal's final ball, slightly shorter and just worked out to square leg there for 1. So that's the end of his 4 overs. Delhi Capital's 112 for 3 or 14 overs, and Gopal will finish his evening with the figures of 4 overs, no maidens, 1 for 31. Which is not terrible, but it's not great at the same time.
No, it's it's been a very so-so. Like, I mean, he's had some good highlights, but ultimately would have liked to maybe take him on one wicket and probably maybe 5 or 10 less runs. But it's been a very so-so performance.
Yeah, but no, I think the Delhi Capitals will really be looking to push on here. 6 overs left. I think they probably look for maybe at least another 60. That brings them up to 173. So only three wickets down as well. So and two really quite aggressive batsmen at the crease who are relatively well set. Well, Aya certainly is well set, but Stoinis, he's faced 8 balls now, so you'd think they'll probably look to press the go button fairly soon. So yeah, it's Unadkat back into the attack now, and Stoinis makes a bit of room for himself outside the leg stump and just cut through the covers. There'll be 113 for 3. Yeah, good to see the. Sorry, mate. No, you go.
I do feel there needs to be a bit of a. The Delhi Capitals are kind of just going through the rhythm at the moment. Rajasthan do really need a wicket here just to kind of break up the rhythm here, because
they do. Unadkat's sort of a slower ball almost, a bit of a leading edge, but falls safely into the leg side there. They'll take another 114 for 3. Yeah, you're right. They need something to kind of break this. Delhi Capitals are kind of, they're making all the play. They're doing it exactly the way they want to do it. So I think, the Rajasthan probably need to take a wicket or two, not just sort of wait for the Delhi Capitals to make a mistake. Unadkat around the wicket now, and again, Stoinis making himself some room, smashing that down to long off. They took 1. They thought about 2, but then they decided better of it, taking on the arm. Is it Ben Stokes down there? I think it possibly is.
It is, I think.
Yeah, so just 3 singles off this over, and I must say I'm a bit surprised. I would have thought they'd be going now, but there we are. What would I know?
I think I suppose
around the wicket again from Unadkat, and this time it's launched into the stands high and long over long on for 6 runs. So they were clearly listening to our commentary, and moves on to 121 for 3.
I think maybe they're thinking probably Alex Carey's the only other real recognised batsman left. Although Patel can play a bit.
Yeah, they do have a long tail, the Delhi Capitals. I agree.
So maybe they are thinking that we need to
be there at the end.
Yeah. That's
true. Unadkat, let's see how he follows up. He's over the wicket this time, short this time, and kind of pulled rather forcefully. Didn't time it too well, but they'll get 2 down to Jofra Archer down there at long on, and 123 for 3. Yeah, it's always interesting. I think they'll do well by telling people at the beginning of an innings what do they think a credible score is. I think it'd be interesting to know what a team is kind of aiming for, and to see whether they achieve it or not. Obviously, time will tell whether this is a competitive score. And I'd cut again. This time just in the slot there, and goodness me. So he's goodness me. Ben Stokes has taken quite a spectacular catch there. So Aya has launched that into what he thought was going to be 6. Ben Stokes has managed to take the catch over the boundary, throw the ball back in, and take it himself. He looks pretty confident that he's taken it. They'll look at the replay, but if this is out, this will be a pretty spectacular catch, one for the highlight reels for sure. He looks real. I don't think he's 100% sure, just judging by his body language, but he's not certain that that's 6. So soft signal was out. So he's in the air now. Takes the ball and gets rid of it. Oh goodness me, that's close. He gets rid of it pretty much exactly the time that his foot touches the ground. I think he's just touching. Yeah.
I think that's 6.
I think that's 6 as well. I think his foot's just touching the ground when he throws it up in the air. Got another frame, and that would have been one of the most spectacular. Oh yeah, just. That's going to be 6, but only just.
Oh.
If Ben Stokes
that's close. That is.
If he was a little bit shorter, maybe he wouldn't have the same problem. If it was David Warner out there, perhaps that would have been out. But yeah, no, that's 6 by a frame.
That's
just going to confirm that. So 6 more to the total there. That's going to take the Delhi Capital score on to 129 for 3. Yeah, there it is. Officially signaled by the umpire there, 6 runs. But yeah, we've seen a couple of spectacular catches like that. I was like, just over the boundary and throwing it in.
We saw one from Pooran the other day. Well, obviously wasn't out, but spectacular piece of fielding nevertheless.
Yeah, absolutely. That's another thing that with the advent of T20s, the standard of fielding all around the world has just gone, up and up and up and up. Yeah,
gone are the days of the likes of David Boone and that kind of thing.
Arjuna Ranatunga just kind of Inzamam Huck refusing to run, those sorts of things. Although Chris Gayle seems to manage to get away with not fielding very well, and he's had a very successful T20 career.
Yeah.
All right, so we've got Tyagi now coming in for his third over. Looking at this, I'd imagine that Archer will probably bowl probably the 17th and the 19th. I think doesn't look like Steve Smith is going to bowl them until the end. Tyagi in now, quite wide on the crease, and Stoinis doesn't time it very well. Goes down to long on, and they'll take a single, 130 for 3. Just showing a replay now of the Ben Stokes almost catch. It was just having the instinct to kind of throw the ball away before you touch the turf must be incredibly difficult.
I don't think he wasn't. He was like, I think if you knew he was out, I think he would have been slightly more confident. He didn't.
Yeah, no. The good thing, but Ben Stokes, he's the consummate sportsman. He's absolutely not going to appeal for. He's not going to pretend that it was out when it wasn't. He would, if he's truly not sure, he will say, "I am truly not sure." As we saw in last year's World Cup final when he managed to hit that boundary while diving for his crease, which was duly awarded as 6 instead of 5. But I'm not bitter about that at all. I must say.
I
would have won my team the World Cup, but hey ho. Right, and Tyagi bowls attempted Yorker, but Iyer has sort of given himself room and manages to kind of dig it out.
That was a bit of a should I stay or should I go? He kind of was all over the crease there.
That would have been a bit of a toe crusher, I think, had he stayed in his crease there. Yeah, Mitchell Stark would have been pleased with that one. Goodness me, that was he's got an inside edge onto his foot there, and I think he saved his own stumps. Could have looked quite silly, I think, if he missed that one. That's some good death.
I wonder if he was thinking of probably trying to take it to the leg side while he was stepping across his stumps there.
Yeah, I think Tyagi saw him coming and readjusted his line. So now he's in again and tries to sort of ramp him over Butler's head unsuccessfully again. Any kind of special shot in this game really hasn't seemed to have come off. We've not seen any good reverse sweeps or ramps or helicopter shots or anything. It's just been pretty stock standard fare, actually. Yeah, wasn't really there to ramp, if I'm honest.
No.
It
was good. Good length there. Tough to play anything really with that shot, that height.
Yeah, absolutely. They're saying, was that pad? Was that foot first or was that bat? They're looking for. Could have been adjudged LBW if that was foot first, but I'm not sure it was. They just having a look at the replay there, just as my coverage decides to go down. But we're back live now.
Oh, that was foot.
Was it? Was that foot first? Was it? Oh, here we go. Seeing it again. Oh, yes.
That's out.
That's leg before wicket. That's a blind man who'll give that out, but there was no appeal. So, yeah. Goodness me. That's absolutely, that's completely adjacent. That's hitting, that's knocking middle stump on middle and leg.
There we go. And
very lucky there wasn't an appeal there. Tiagi again. So this time Aya hits that straight up in the air, and Jofra Archer's coming around, takes the catch, and that's the end of Shreyas Iyer. So eventful over. Sees the departure. Delhi Capitals 132 for 4.
God, it's all happening.
It is.
I mean, it's safe to say that it probably should have been Stoinis out there last ball, but instead we have out. So Alex Carey in. What's happened here? Oh, we're on the timeout now. So we've got the 2 minutes 30 timeout.
Yeah, we've got the batting team's timeout.
And let's see what overs we're in. So we're in the 16th over. So they'll be looking to score probably 160, 165, I'd say now.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, Alex Carey and Stoinis both have got shots in them. So be interesting to see how they go. Obviously, both relatively fresh, although Stoinis has been in there for a little bit now. So
yeah, I'm gonna go slightly higher than your prediction of 165, only because they're already at 8 runs and over, and I think they'll probably be looking at upping that. I think probably 175, 180 might be a bit more of a target score. Very much depends how many more wickets they take.
Yeah, I think that could be a bit of a turning point. That last wicket there, obviously, the getting himself a 50, but
yeah, I'm just looking at the betting odds here. So the kind of even money is somewhere between 170 and 175. So
okay,
yeah. So the first innings line is, what is it at? Oh, it's just gone down slightly at the this week. It's 170 actually is the first innings line. So not too bad. We'll have to wait and see.
Yeah,
but I think the Capitals will be aiming for a bit more than that. Especially with the firepower, the Royals have got some serious batting. If Steve Smith doesn't score runs, or Ben Stokes sort of score runs, or Josh Butler will score runs, there's a lot of firepower there.
And there is, especially at the top of the order as well. I think it's going to be crucial for the Delhi Capitals to get early wickets, because I think, the last thing you want is Ben Stokes or Josh Butler sticking around.
Absolutely right. So yeah, we'll have to. You want to be putting pressure on that top order from the word go, and I don't think you're going to pressure that top order if they're chasing 160, to be honest. And looking at this year's IPL, there's been a lot of runs scored in the last few overs. But then again, Archer's going to bowl 2 of these, so it remains to be seen.
Equally, there's been a lot of wickets too, though. It's not. So while there has been a lot of runs scored, you're right. There's been a lot of wickets that have changed the complexion of the game quite quickly. So
especially in the second innings.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
So you got Jofra Archer back on.
Yeah, so he won't bowl the last over. Well, he might bowl the last over, but if he bowls this the 17th, he might bowl the 19th. Here he is, excellent death bowling there, and dug out by Alex Carey, first ball of his innings. Jofra Archer going for the massive gold chains tonight. Doesn't seem to impact his pace at all, nor did it when he was playing in the Australia series.
No, I do think I prefer him with the gold chains. It's it's definitely a statement, but I think he pulls it off quite well.
He's probably a bit fitter than I am, but I guarantee it'd slow me down. Oh, he's missed the Yorker there, and he's bowled a waist high full toss to Carey, who kind of works that down to third man to square leg, third man or sort of square leg cover. Stop saying words, Richard. Third man or cover boundary. It could have almost been a no ball, but not called. So it'll be interesting to see the replay on that one. He just missed that, and it got a full toss. Here he is again, and slightly better line and length this time. Carey takes a quick single there down there to the makes a long on kind of run in, so it's a pretty easy single in the end. 135 for 4.
I think Alex Carey. I mean, he's only played. This is only his second innings in the IPL, but it's not a bad backup wicketkeeper to have, I must say.
Oh no, definitely not. I mean, he's more than capable at the highest level.
Yeah, and I think look at obviously making a case for him to be the Australian Test wicketkeeper now with Tim Payne not scoring runs, and him scoring runs in the white ball series against England.
Yeah, that'll be interesting to see what happens, and then obviously the question of who takes over the leadership. Do you give it back to Steve Smith, who's going to be allowed to captain Australia, I think, next year? Got Archer in again, who bowls in the block hole again, just sort of a wide Yorker there, dug out by Stoinis. They'll take 136 for 4.
Yeah, that will be an interesting one. I mean, the other one is, Pat Cummins maybe, but
be very un-Australian to have a bowler as your captain. But yeah, I don't disagree.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, maybe look, it's still early in the summer. Maybe Tim Payne scored some runs for Tasmania and keeps his spot.
He's far too young, but I'd love to see Marnus Labuschagne at one day.
I think he's.
Oh, and that's Archer misses the Yorker again, and this time it's cut uppishly over third man into the boundary for 4, 1 bounce. So, oh no, not 1 bounce. It's gone for 6. Goodness me, Carey's timed that well.
Just thinking back to the white ball series, Carey did get a lot of runs from Jofra Archer, especially in that last one day. So
he got a lot of runs off everyone in that last one day.
Yeah, but so maybe
Archer again. It's come off Carey's helmet, I think, who's just kind of head butted that down towards fine leg. Butler runs and does the fielding, and leg by there or head by. Humour not lost on Stoinis, who seems to be laughing at his mate.
Yeah.
That's what we in Australia call a falcon.
Yeah. Go back to the days of the footy show.
Yeah, indeed. For our Indian in the subcontinental watchers.
Yeah. Google it.
Indeed. So the end of the over after that. So 3 to go.
3 to go.
Delhi Capitals 143 for 4.
Yeah, and Steve Smith looks like he's trying to park a plane.
Oh yes, he is. He's get a job at Sydney Airport if his cricketing career falls over.
Yeah, maybe not now, but
if we're ever allowed to take aeroplanes again.
Yeah. Oh, that came right off his forearm. That last bouncer to Carey.
Was his forearm? I thought it was his helmet. Oh no, okay. Oh, it's his elbow. Oh yeah, okay, sure. There we go. Tiagi bowling the 18th over, and straight to Steve Smith there at mid-off, who shies at the stumps, and he misses, but there is no run. So dot ball there, valuable at this stage of the innings. 143 for 4. The score remains.
That would have been close if that. Yeah, I mean, Steve Smith is a terrific fielder. So
it was a bit of lazy running there from Marcus Stoinis. He was kind of just cruising in there, and then he grounded his bat at the last possible moment once he realised that Steve Smith was having a shy. Tiagi in again, and to Carey, who slower ball, but Carey seems to pick it up and just takes a single there into the into mid wicket. 144 for 4. Yeah, I'm surprised they're not trying to hit more boundaries. They're still only getting sort of one or two boundaries per over. Maybe it's I don't know, because I mean you think with Archer bowling probably the next over, and then there only being one more after that, you'd think that they'd be wanting to target this over, but maybe it's more difficult to score than we think.
Well, yeah, I mean Stoinis 13 from 13 is not exactly
not lightning, is it?
No. So
Yeah, we'll have to see. We've got some more aeroplane hanger trickery going on from Stephen Smith. Tiagi finally in now to Marcus Stoinis, and gives himself some room and leaves it alone. Gave himself some room outside leg stump and didn't really miss off stump by very much. That's another dot ball. That's good bowling from Tiagi, who obviously saw Stoinis coming and readjusted his line there.
Yeah. Sorry, my it's just ticked off again, so I'll have to get you to commentate from here.
Yeah, fine. Don't you worry. So yeah, 2.5 overs left. We've got some more trickery from Mr. Smith. Yeah, I think Stoinis is going to have to do something here. I mean, unless he wants to target Archer, but I'd be surprised if they're gonna target Archer. So Tiagi in again, and good Yorker from Tiagi. Stoinis does manage to dig it out off his toes there. You're lucky. You come back for 2 here, to squirted down to sort of the square leg boundary. 146 for 4. The score goes on to. We've got Stoinis 15 off 15 and Carey 10 off 7.
All right, and I'm back. So Carey looking like he's obviously got a rocket up in with the 6, but be interesting to see how this next over goes, because
yeah, just another single there down to long on by from Stoinis. I mean, Tiagi is bowling very well. He's hitting his lengths well. He's not letting Stoinis get under the ball, which obviously is what he's trying to do. You know, Stoinis is freeing his arms, but he's bowling some very good wide Yorkers there, right on the crease, really giving Stoinis nothing to work with.
Well, and I mean, he was going like after his second over, he was going at 11 and over. He's now pushed that back down to his economy down to 7.5. So he's
corrected. Yeah. So last ball of his over now, and he's into Alex Carey. Bowls another really good Yorker that Carey just manages to get down to long on just for another 1. Ben Stokes doing the fielding. So really good over there for the Rajasthan Royals. 2, 3, 4, only 5 runs off it. So 18 gone, 148 for 4. Maybe your prediction of 160 is more likely than my prediction of 170.
Yeah, I think. I mean, look, who knows? There's still 2 overs to go, so there's plenty of runs to be had. But I think 160 to 165 is probably looking slightly more likely now. Which I don't think. I think the Rajasthan Royals will definitely think is chaseable with their batting lineup. I mean, it's.
I'd definitely have my money on the Rajasthan Royals if it's only 160. And then again, even now, 148 for 4. I know they've not got too much firepower further down the order, but they just, I don't know. It just seems like they perhaps should have gone a bit earlier, gone a bit sooner. When Aya was at the crease, or even when Darwin was at the crease, they just, I think they might have missed a trick here, the Delhi Capitals.
Although looking at Rajasthan's scores in Dubai, they've got 137 and 163. So, I mean, 165 may be competitive after all.
Archer in for his first ball is over, and again misses the Yorker. Ends up bowling another full toss to Alex Carey, who doesn't do particularly well with it. Just manages to get a single. Again, not a no ball, but not too far off it.
Yeah, that did look close, didn't it?
It did. I'd like to see a replay there. So you see the projected score of 164. So yeah, I think Delhi will probably hope for slightly more than that, but it probably does hinge on this over. Obviously, Archer not the easiest person to score a big one off.
No. Although, I mean, with that pace, it could be could go quickly to the boundaries, we saw with Alex Carey's shot before off Jofra Archer.
True, and in the next innings, Kagito Rabada is not going to be easy to score off, and neither is Ravi Ashwin. So here's Archer again, misses the Yorker again, but this time just a low full toss and hit down the ground by Stoinis, and they'll just take a single. Fielding done there by Steve Smith. 150 up for the Delhi Capitals. And yeah, you can just see the body language of the batsmen now. They're just beginning to get a bit frustrated. I think we're probably going to see either a wicket fall or a boundary or two.
I think, yeah, this next ball's going to be fireworks either way, hopefully.
Commentator's curse. Let's see what happens. Round the wicket now with Archer. Again, bowls a full toss. I think it's a full toss off every ball of the over. Cut away, but some good fielding in the covers there. They'll just take one. So one more to the total. 151 for 4.
I think Alex Carey should have done slightly better with that. I mean, it was.
Yeah, I completely agree. He's just. Yeah. Indeed.
I mean, Jofra Archer off his 3.3 overs, 2 wickets and 18 runs. So he's it proved hard to hit.
He does, yeah. I know, but yeah, he's. I'm not quite sure why he's missing his line, missing his length. It's a better Yorker there, but Stoinis managed to kind of work off his toes, but straight to the fielder on the mid-wicket fence again. He's almost looking at him as if he's like, "What? Is that only a great shot only for 1?"
That was a great flick of the wrist onto the offside there. So.
That was incredibly wristy, almost as very subcontinental shot, that one. Indeed. So the 2 balls left in the over now, and shorter from Archer, which Carey manages to work round the corner there. But fine leg will do the fielding. Just another single. So seven balls left. Yeah, they really probably want to get that up to about 170, I think.
Yeah, I think they do need a boundary off this last ball because to speed things up a little bit.
Yeah, absolutely correct. So one ball left from Archer in his spell.
Oh.
We'll have a look and see what happens. Pink watch and everything over the wicket, and that's oh goodness me, yeah, okay, it's gone straight down the throat of the deep mid wicket fielder. So Stoinis is absolutely livid with himself, and so he should be. He's been trying all over to get Archer away, and I wonder if that might be quite pivotal in the match. Stoinis could have really taken it away in that last over.
Yeah, they'd be disappointed with that because it was there to be hit, but it just didn't get a hold of it properly and went straight down the fielder's throat. Yeah.
Yeah. And Stoinis, 18 off 19. It's a shame he's got to start. He faced enough balls, but he just couldn't get going. After we were all bigging him up and saying he's aggressive and he can hit a long ball and all that. I mean, he definitely can, but not today. He can't. No, so in comes Axar, and Archer finishes with pretty good figures actually from his 4 overs, 3 for 19.
Yeah, terrific. And I mean, his economy rate was great, but I mean, I wouldn't say like that's the best I've seen Jofra Archer. I mean, he was a little bit like a couple of extras and a little bit not his usual line, but still managed to get 3 wickets and not get hit for very many runs. So can't complain really.
Well, he had a solid first over. That's saying something.
Yeah. And so 41 off the last 5 overs. So not really what the Delhi Capitals would have been looking for in a bad.
They got 1 over left to counter that. So Unadkat's not got the best bowling figures. So let's see what Carey and Axar can do. I think anything under 165, I think Steve Smith will take right now. Yeah. So here's Unadkat, who bowls a wide, slower ball, just on that wide line, and it's cut away to the cover boundary. But again, they'll just take 1. I'll be more than happy to just concede singles at the moment, I think.
Yeah. I mean, now or never, really. But you think of this last over that it has to be maximums. But again, just maybe the pitch holding up a little bit, but
just some pretty excellent bowling as well from Rajasthan. They've been changes of pace, and they've controlled with they've bowled good line and good length. They've done everything that they can to try and make it difficult for Delhi to score. Here's Unadkat again, similar wide, full and wide there. This time sort of hit down towards long off in between the 2 fieldsmen. They'll take 2 What did they take two? One of the batsmen's very annoyed with the other one. Carey didn't seem to want to come back. So yeah, it'll just be one, I think.
Yeah, and Adcat's bowled really well in these last couple of overs. Given not much away. So
yeah, and he's been. It's nice. It's probably quite nice to bowl when you've got Jofra Archer doing pretty well at the other end.
well, it does take the pressure out. It does take the pressure.
He got full toss this time, but just still not timed and hit down to long on for one more, 157 for 5.
I did notice that Ben Stokes is wearing the sleeves, whatever that may be.
Oh yeah, I see he is too. Yeah, must be something to do with his. It must be something to do with his bowling and the pressure or something sports sciencey, something that I have very little idea about.
Sports sciencey, yeah, no idea.
Yeah, indeed. So 3 balls left in the innings, and I cut and Carey just straight down, long off throat. Jofra Archer actually can't get him out of the game. So 157 for 6 now.
God, they'll be disappointed. That's from the position they were in after 14 overs. They really haven't kicked on with it, and it definitely put Rajasthan back in the game.
Yeah, they've butchered this. They've more than put Rajasthan back in the game. I think they've put them in the box seat. All Rajasthan really need to do, in my opinion, is to just bat the 20 overs. You know, if you bat the 20 overs, you'll be there or thereabouts. So I don't think they really need to take too many risks. If I'm honest, I mean the maximum that Delhi can score now is 169, and so I think it's definitely Rajasthan's game to lose.
And Ashwan in.
Yeah. Ravi Ashwin known for his spin bowling, not known as much for his aggressive batting. There are 2 balls left in the over. He might not even face one, old Ravichandran. Just hoisted. Okay, so he's gone to the boundary for 4 this time. Managed to split the 2 fieldsmen between sort of in the extra cover boundary and sort of guy on the sort of wideish long off. But yeah, that's
good shot. That one too is.
Yeah, especially for a player who's only been in for 2 balls. He's picked the gap quite well there, and that brings the total above 160. So they'll be pleased about that.
So, and last ball, Mankat Ashwin for a change.
Yep.
No.
I don't think so. One of the others.
No.
Here's an ad cap for the last ball of the over, and slower ball goes. Just completely miscues that, and he's caught at sort of a short third man. So the last ball's a dot more than anything else. 161 for 7. Delhi Capitals will finish off their innings. So we'll have to only wait 10 or 15 minutes for the Rajasthan Royals reply. But in my opinion, it's definitely theirs to lose.
Yeah, terrific comeback from the bowlers there, and Delhi Capitals will be disappointed. Obviously, they've got quite a deep bowling lineup though, and with Rabana taking the most wickets in the IPL this season, I mean, not all's lost, but it will be down to them to make sure they get the wickets and slow the scoring down.
Absolutely. So we'll be back in about 10 minutes. I'm just going to go for a little comfort break, and we'll be back with the chase momentarily.
Cool. Welcome back for the second innings of the Wickets and Pickets live commentary of the Delhi Capitals versus the Rajasthan Royals. Delhi Capitals scoring 161 in their 20 overs in the first innings. I'm here with Richard Hanson. How do you think they went in that first innings, mate?
I think it was about par. I think they probably would have ruled a few missed opportunities, but then I think Rajasthan bowled very well at the death. They could very well have been chasing 180, 190. A number of the batsmen, Shikhar Dhawan particularly, and Shreyas Iyer, they got good starts. They batted quite well, but they didn't kick on, so it'll be interesting to see this run chase. Similarly, they've got some good bowling in their attacks. So, and the Rajasthan Royals have got some pretty good firepower at the top of the order. So it'll be interesting to see how they go about it.
Yeah, I think the first 5 overs is really crucial here. I think, the power play rather, so 6 overs. I think if the Rajasthan Royals get off to a good start, I think this could be quite easy run chase from. However, if they do lose some early wickets, then it's all to play for.
Yeah, I'm just seeing a picture of old Mr. Warne himself and his Rajasthan Royals top. But yeah, absolutely is. It'd be really nice to see some of these guys just batting well, just given how prodigiously talented they are. So yeah, to see Ben Stokes make some runs for the first time in the IPL would be pleasing.
Yeah, and I mean, he had a tough day with the ball, so and even more so in the field with that almost very nearly classic catch. So his name's been all over this match. So wouldn't surprise me he went out there and scored some runs.
Yeah, it's interesting. Yeah, Ben Stokes at the top of the order, like you said, Darshan. You don't see all that often. But I don't necessarily think it's a bad idea. He's aggressive. He can bat slower if he has to. And equally, he's not. As opposed to batting at sort of 5 or 6. Sometimes you bat at 5 or 6, you can come in. When your team's in trouble. 20 for 3 or something. Obviously, it takes that out of the equation.
Well, the other thing is he's got Steve Smith at number 3, you assume. So there's almost like a bit of an insurance policy there. If one of them goes early, you've got Steve Smith to play the anchor. Yeah,
absolutely, and that's definitely the role that he is incredibly good at making. I mean, the Royals' top 3 are just absolutely second to none, in my opinion. Right, so here we go. We've got Rabada opening up to Ben Stokes, who just flicks it off his hip down to the boundary 4-4 to start with. So
how easy was that? I mean, Rabada, the best bowler or the most wicket-taking bowler in the whole of the IPL this season, and Ben Stokes' first ball makes it look
easy. Just
a better first ball than Delhi, that's for sure.
Yeah, than Prithvi Shaw got. Yeah, absolutely. And inside edge that onto his stumps. But it wasn't a particularly bad ball either. Here's a follow up from Rabada, who Stokes is watchful this time. Defends it out to the covers. There's no run, forward out loss.
As we said before, I think these power play is absolutely crucial, but also in the field as well. I think limiting the run rate here is really the key for Delhi Capitals.
Yeah, Rabada in again to Stokes, and again Stokes watchful out to the covers, no run. Yeah, absolutely. The chase is all about creating pressure. And the best way to do that is to take wickets and restrict the flow of runs. So pressure is a funny thing, and funny things can happen when teams are put under pressure. But like I said in the first innings, Rajasthan don't really need to do anything outrageous to get 160. They merely need to just bat sensibly for 20 overs, and and I'm sure they'll be there or thereabouts. So it's all up to Delhi to make the play. Another ball from Rabada. Goodness me, that was there was nearly a run out there at the bowler's end. He got Stokes just sort of pushing it into the covers, setting off for a single, and ended up having to dive to make his ground. It was. Let's have a look at that on the replay there. Just push that into the covers, and direct hit there would have probably seen him seen him packing.
Yeah, well, I'm gone.
Is that Shikhar Dhawan there? Oh, goodness me, that would have been, it would have been long gone. Yeah, no,
That was Stokes' run as well, and didn't hesitate at all. He went for it. So
it was. I think he actually timed it better than he thought, and it got to the fielder, quicker than he anticipated. But anyway, he's still there to tell the tale. So 5 without loss, and Butler's first ball driven through the covers nicely, and that'll go to the boundary for 4 as well. So 9 for none now off the first 5 balls. So pretty good start for Rajasthan.
Yeah, both starting off with boundaries to get their innings going.
Absolutely, and you never arguably these two, the cleanest strikers of the cricket ball of anyone around the world. So they want to be. If you're Delhi, you'd be wanting to get rid of one or both of these guys pretty damn quick.
Yeah, I think that top 3 is frightening in any form of the game. But Josh Butler in 2020 is, is out of this world, and why he commands big bucks.
Absolutely. I mean, he's not doing too well in Test cricket at the moment, but certainly in T20, I'll have him in my team. Just last ball of the over there, and just flick nicely into the onside. They'll take 1, so 10 off the over for the first over. So that's certainly well within the required run rate. Rajasthan 10 for none.
Yeah, good start to the innings, and I mean, if they can make the most of this power play, it'll be a fairly easy run chase from. I mean, obviously only the first over, but well higher than Rabana's economy rate as well in this IPL. He's been going at around about 6 and over recently. So to get 10 off his first over, he'd be disappointed with that.
Here's Deshpande. Let's see what he can do. Can he stem the flow of runs facing Butler? Leading edge there, but sort of ballooned almost off to mid off. Thankfully for Butler, just fell just in front of him. I think was it onto him a bit quick? I think it may have been a bit quicker than he was expecting it. I have to have a look at the replay there.
Terrific bowling, perfect line there.
Yeah, it's just a little bit. He was trying to work that into the onside, and I think it was just through him a little bit quick. But lives to tell the tale. 11 without loss. They got a single there. So Tushar coming in again. This time to Stokes, who short and wide, and Stokes just thrashes him through the covers. That's going to go to the boundary for 4. Absolutely no need to run for that. Goodness me, Ben Stokes looks like he's in good form.
That's a terrific shot in any form of the game, but
whack.
Yeah, that's no stopping that.
Yeah, and it's interesting seeing Ben Stokes wearing bright pink gloves as a member of the Ginger Club. It's almost like he's just spent a little bit too long in the sun. His hands have gone a particular colour, but there we are. Just an observation from a fellow Ginger. Tushar again into Stokes, who's watchful, and then defends into the offside, and there is no run. 15 for none.
So after one sunny day in Durham, hey?
Yeah, that's it. And the temperature gets above 15 degrees.
It's quite interesting to see. Ben Stokes has the ability to kind of, as you say, play all forms of the game, but really have that solid defense as well, which you don't really see too often in T20 cricket.
Players
blocking the ball.
Stokes in again, who just kind of bunts the ball this time through the covers, and it's going to go for 4 more this time. I think they almost need to get a cover sweeper out into the second over, but Rajasthan really rattling along now at 19 for none. But yeah, Declan, you're totally right. I remember his world famous innings at Headingley last summer when he won the Test match for England. It's important to remember that he was 3 off 73 balls overnight before he just went ballistic and scored 100. Their other 150 odd off. Far fewer than that. So he can definitely go at more than one speed, can Ben Stokes.
And it's a quite a unique skill. I mean, there is definitely not many batters in the world that can do that as well as he does. I mean,
no.
Babra's arm probably comes up as one for me, but other than not many others spring to mind as someone that can kind of change gears so quickly.
Yeah, no, he really does that have that art form down to a T. Yeah, it's slightly fuller this time from Tusha, and they just work a single down to mid off there. 21 without, sorry, 20 without loss. Some slightly worried looks on some of the Delhi Capitals' faces now.
Yeah, indeed. I think then they really need to stem this tide or get a wicket because could be out of sight by the end of the power play if it keeps going the way it is.
Yeah, 60. If they're 60 or 70 without loss, the end of the power play, then it's pretty well game over for Delhi Capitals, in my opinion. Here's Tusha again, this time bowling to Butler, who just works it nicely up to mid-on, and they'll take a run. There is 21 without loss after 2, so they're still keeping the run rate above 10, which is certainly more than they need.
Yeah.
So interestingly, after 2 overs, the Delhi Capitals were only 10 for 1, so they're already double what the Capitals were.
Yeah, I think so. New bowler in Andrik Norge.
South African.
Replacement for Chris Wokes, who obviously can't be in the IPL this year. Has bowled well without taking too many wickets.
Yep, and he's in, and Joss Butler launches him over long on for 6. So that's 27 without loss, 2.1 overs. Welcome to the crease, Mr. Norcher.
Yeah, Joss Butler not mucking around here.
No, neither of them are. It's almost like they've seen the Delhi Capitals' death. I wonder if they're thinking that it's going to get harder to score as the ball gets older. So I think they might want to sort of break the back of this innings at the top end. He's in again, and this time it's Fuller on the pads and just worked a square leg for a single there, 28 for none.
Yeah, I think Norja, it's quite an interesting replacement. Obviously, he doesn't bat, whereas with Chris Wokes, you do get some batting.
Yeah.
But so his economy rate average rather for the IPL this season is going on about 25 off his 4 overs. So it's not bad.
Norcher again, just this time to Stokes, and Stokes just works that down to third man just for the single. Yeah, no, it's not bad, but you're right. Getting a bit of value as a batsman, even if it is at 8 or 9 down the order, sometimes you can get some very valuable runs at the end of an innings. In the way that Chris Wokes can definitely do.
Yeah, and I've noticed that with the Currans as well. Both Sam and Tom Curran have obviously great bowlers, but can score runs as well.
Oh, goodness me, Ben. So Joss Butler has just ramped Norcher sort of over fine leg, a couple of bounces for 4. And on the screen, we've got Butler special there. He's just helped that on its way, doing what a number of the Delhi Capitals batsmen tried to do with limited degrees of success.
God, and that looked absolutely effortless as well. That's if you Darshran, that's how you play a reverse sweep.
Darwin needs to take a leaf out of the old Somerset Man's book. But
Lancashire now, isn't it?
Well, sure, but I like to talk about where these people are from originally. Taunton, I think, is where he grew up.
That's correct, I think. Or
Lancashire will be pleased to have him, I'm sure.
Well, or the Manchester Rebels in the 100 next year.
The 100, don't get me started. I don't think we need another form of the game, but maybe we can have a more in-depth conversation about that. So see how Norcher does here. He's not had a very good over already. And okay, so Butler just does an absolute carbon copy of what he did one ball before. Same result, 4 more. So not even 3 overs bowled, and the Royals are already 37 without loss. So this game could be over. Could be over pretty quickly.
That last one came off like the edge of his bat, and
same intent, same result. Maybe Stokes and Butler have got some socially distanced dinner reservations in.
Yeah, need to get on with it.
Current run rate 13.06. That'll do. That will do. So can he? He's one ball left in the over.
Great.
So clearly something's going to happen that I've not seen yet. And he's clean bowled him. So Nocha has the last laugh, and Butler's on his way. 22 off just 8 balls.
Great comeback there.
Absolutely. Absolutely cleaned up.
That's terrific bowling. That's and there goes the danger man. Well, one of the danger men.
Yeah, that's definitely Delhi definitely needed that. That's that could have been over rather quickly. But yeah, 22 off 9 balls. Rajasthan 37 for 1, 3 overs bowled.
And into the crease, Steve Smith.
Steve Smith. So yeah, out of the frying pan into the fire for old Delhi. I mean, I don't think Smith's going to be. I don't think Smith's going to be ramping too many shots over fine leg, but equally, it'll be interesting to see them see how he gets on here. You see, he's not done too badly in this IPL, but there's not been a sort of major headline making innings from the Australian. So it'll be good to see if he manages to anchor something here.
Ravi Ashwan in. I mean, Steve Smith averaging 23 this IPL. However, is scoring at a strike rate of about 131, so he's going relatively quickly. But I think he'd like to hope to probably try and get 40, 50 on the board here. Would really help his team home.
Yeah, absolutely. He's got the time. He's got the space to do it. Obviously, Rajasthan have already, they're off to a cracking start, so they don't really need to take any risks now. Less than 130 runs needed, for off 17 overs. So it's a bit of a cakewalk, really, if you look at it like that. It's current rate required is something like 6 point. Oh, where has it gone? 7.39 now. So it's getting fairly manageable. So here's Smith's first ball, batting, doing all the things that Steve Smith does when he gets to the crease, fidgeting for Australia. Must be incredibly tired after he's had a bat. Right, Ashwin done not a lot of turn, but Smith managed to work it into the onside for a single. Thought about 2 for a minute, but then thought better of it. So just an extra 1 to the total. 39 for 1, 3.2 overs gone.
Dude, what happened with that last little run-in from Ashwin? Didn't try and, was that a warning or something to the non-striker there, Ben Stokes?
How was it? What a man cat kind of
thing. I mean, you saw that the other day against Royal Bangalore, Royal Challengers Bangalore.
Yeah.
To Aaron Finch. So I mean, I think he's fed up with the non-striker being out of the ground.
Ooh. Yeah, well, I mean, if someone like Ashwin who can certainly bail out of his action, he's not like he's a quick bowler, so it's harder for him to stop. But yeah, absolutely. So he's getting a bit of something there off the pitch. That little bit of movement, a little bit of bounce, deceiving Steve Smith ever so slightly. He's in again, and leading edge from Steve Smith, and he's caught and bowled. So that's the end of the Australian. He's gone for 1. Rajasthan rolls 40 for 2. Yeah, that really was a bit of magic there from Ravi Ashwin. I think definitely the best way to get rid of Steve Smith is to get him early, and they've certainly done that.
God, that's a big wicket, that one. I think.
Oh yeah, Smith will be disappointed with himself though. You look at that was a lot slower than he thought, and that bounced a lot more than he anticipated. And he's going to have to go. He's not going to like. He's not going to like the look of that on the replay. That made him look fairly ordinary, despite being arguably one of the world's best batsmen.
That. I mean, only faced 3 balls there. He'd be disappointed. Plenty of time to get himself in as well. I mean, that does open it up a little bit.
It does.
We've now got who's coming to the crease now to look.
Samson. Yeah.
Samson. Who has scored plenty of runs himself. So.
There's plenty of firepower down there. Tuati is coming in. There's plenty of people that can score a lot, but it might be interesting. Stokes is obviously still there. We might see a slight change of gear from him. Like I said, they don't need to take too many risks. As the runs are certainly under control at the moment. So Ashwin has definitely brought them back into the game though.
So Samson, just looking at his last 5, 26 the other day against the Sunrise, off 25 balls, 5 off 9 balls against the Capitals. Obviously, the last time they played each other.
Yeah.
A duck against the Mumbai Indians, 4 and 8 respectively against RBC and KKR. So he's.
He could do something slightly better. So, Steve, Ben Stokes is signaling something there. Like he's not happy with something that's just gone on. As we see a replay of the court hold there from Steve Smith. Something interesting is happening, but I'm not quite sure what it is. Nortje bowling with a fair bit of pace now. That last one was 154 Ks. Bad at all. So he's facing Stokes again, who just hits that straight to point. There'll be no run there. So Rajasthan Royals still 40 for 2.
He's bowled quite a lot in the slot there, Nortje, hasn't he? He's definitely been kind of that in between, like not quite Yorker. That's
where it's full enough to drive, but you can definitely get your bat underneath it and send it over the fence. Absolutely right. So Robin Uthappa in next. I wonder if Tuatu will be promoted up to 6. I don't know. I guess it depends what position they're in when he comes out to bat. So Nortje to Stokes again, who just works that up to mid-off. They'll take 1 this time. Score moves on to 41 for 2.
So them 2 wickets have definitely slowed down the scoring as well.
Oh yeah.
So nothing like I think nothing like a wicket to slow down the scoring in T20 cricket.
It's the only way to do it in T20 cricket. That's the thing. You gotta take wickets, and it's interesting. Like when they bought, when T20 came to the forefront in 2005. People thought, oh, it's all going to be about the batting, and it's all going to be about how fast you can score and how many runs you can score. But what's really been a good thing is the advent of bowling and the different variations. Especially for the slower bowlers. Some of the bowlers now. Rashid Khan and these sorts of guys who are really incredibly skilled at what they do. And if it was not for T20 cricket, then I don't think we'd see it.
No, 100%. I think it's almost spawned a new type of specialist. Obviously, there was originally a specialist T20 batsman. You think of like when Dave Warner coming in and for these types of players, but they've also spawned specialist T20 bowlers now that are kind of been just as valuable. Just looking at the stats, the Delhi Capitals have actually averaged the most wickets per game as well, which is obviously why they're second on the table at the minute. They average 8 a game, which can restrict the the opponents to a relatively measly score. Like
well, they're gonna have to this time if they're going to if they want to have a chance of getting one over Rajasthan. But yeah, you're right. I mean, Rajasthan need to make all the play. They're currently lying 7th on the table, aren't they? So
just looking here, Delhi Capitals have only conceded over 170 once this season in the IPL. So they
okay.
They I mean they do seem to be able to restrict the opposition to some pretty measly totals here.
Yeah. So not sure. We got to the end of the 5th over now. Rajasthan Royals currently 43 for 2. It looks as if Iyer has really hurt his shoulder. Has he dislocated his shoulder?
That he looks in some pain there.
He looks in some pain. He's taken he's dived to take a ball in the field, and he's just fallen awkwardly. I mean, I'm not sure he's dislocated it, but yeah, he's in pain. It looks like he's going off the field there. The physio's on the field. Hopefully that's not anything too serious, because yeah, Delhi will miss him. He'll miss his batting. He really will.
Yeah, he's. I mean, this is why they've all got such big squads. I mean,
he's not dislocated it, but yeah, you can see the amount of pressure that's gone on that. Yeah. Yeah, that is why they've got big squads. Obviously, injuries are a big part of it.
Yeah, I mean that's a big loss if they were to lose him, though.
No, yeah, I agree.
I mean, he's coming off the field now, so
yeah. I mean, obviously, he's not gonna have too much impact on the game on this match, but obviously on in future matches, it might be a problem if he can't play. It looks like Ashwin's going to be continuing. Who I think is going to be captaining now in Iyer's absence.
I mean, it stands to reason. He had a terrific first over.
Oh no, it looks like Kagiso Rabada's coming back. Obviously, now that a couple of wickets have fallen, maybe they're he's looking to get a few more. I think if Stokes was to go now, they'd be blowing this chase wide open. Here's Rabada to Stokes, who doesn't time it, just cuts it there into the offside, and there'll be no run. 43 for 2 now, Rajasthan Royals in the final over the power play.
It looks like Stokes might have to be, will definitely be the guy that is in. Face 16 balls, or sorry, 17 balls now. So
Rabada's in again, and this time Stokes pulls that just effortlessly down to the square leg boundary for 4 there. Yeah, you think that Stokes probably wants to be there. He wants to be a bit of an anchor here. He probably needs to score a fair chunk of these runs.
I mean, he's looked in great nick so far. So
he has, yeah. And he's not necessarily he's one to do a kind of James Vince and kind of look incredible and then just nick off for 25 runs or so. But this is another good shot there from Ben Stokes, who cuts it nicely, but this time it'll be picked up by the fielder out there in the cover boundary. They'll just take 1, 48 for 2, 5.5 overs gone.
Kagiso Rabada hasn't looked like he's got into his rhythm just yet. I mean, he.
No, though I don't think he's bowled to anybody who isn't. He's only bowled to Stokes and Butler. So I don't think he's had any time at anybody else. But yeah, you're right. He's certainly been expensive thus far.
So even the balls are like he's usually very consistent. Or this season in the IPL has been consistent with his line and length, but some of them have been a bit on the onside and have been kind of dispatched pretty easily from Ben Stokes and
Rabada. And this time Stokes just works him down to third man, just kind of uses the pace, who runs it off the face. It's 49 for 2 now. Yes, indeed. Be interesting to see who who Ashwin goes to next if he is indeed the captain.
I mean, he's got a few options here. He's
Shrubada in again, and shorter this time, both Stokes pulling, but no timing in that one, and just taken there by Marcus Stoinis at mid-wicket, and there'd be no run. So 49 for 2. Run rate just about exactly what it needs to be at the moment. Current run rate 8.33, required run rate 8.0.
It's
We're looking at a couple of stats from of Steve Smith's IPL. He had 2 really good scores at the beginning, and ever since then he's only managed single figures. So you could almost suggest that he's out of nick. It's quite rare for the Australian.
Yeah, I do think that is the key to Steve Smith. I think he's one of them batsmen that once he's in, it's pretty
utterly
tough to get him.
Utterly impossible to dislodge him. Yes.
So I think clearly the key is to stop him from getting in.
I agree.
But I mean, I can't see him putting that streak together for much longer. I think with a batsman like him, a big score is generally not too far away.
No, never too far away, especially for someone who, just loves batting so much and hangs on his stats so much. He'll know exactly how many runs he scored or how many runs he hasn't scored, and he'll be desperate to make amends for that. Yeah. This is the end of the power play. 50 runs off that power play. I don't have the figure to hand of where the Delhi Capitals were at a similar stage. Looking at that, they were actually exactly the same, with 50 for 2 as well. So that's interesting to see. So here's Patel this time, comes in to Ben Stokes, who works out into the onside. He didn't hit that particularly well. They'll look for 2 deep mid-wicket, but they won't get one. They won't get 2. So there'll just be 1. 51 for 2.
So Patel in, just looking at some of his stats here, he's been relatively handy with the ball. I mean, he didn't bowl against the Mumbai Indians the other day, but he did rather bowl against the Mumbai Indians the other day. Took 1 for 24 off 3 overs.
Here's Patel and Samson this time. Smacks him right back over his head into the stands for 6. Goodness me, that's a big hit. That's in the upper tier. That's in the upper tier. That one. That'll be 6 anywhere in the world. So that's pleased Shane Warne, who's clapping away. It wasn't. He hit it with the spin. Moved very much at all, but he got all of that. And thanks very much. That's gone a long way. 102 meters. That one.
Probably just as well. No one's in the crowd there because that was a missile if ever I've seen one.
That could have taken somebody out. Yeah, absolutely. Patel follows it up, and Samson just knocks him down to long on for a single. Yeah, that's the biggest 6 of the game by quite some margin. Around the wicket this time, and this time Stokes works him into the onside. They're pushing hard for 2. They're not going to get it though. And so just the 1, 59 for 2 now.
So his next couple of overs are quite crucial for Delhi. I mean, if they can restrict the scoring here, then we've got a real game on our hands. But if they continue to concede boundaries in such regularity, then the game's all but done already.
So that's the end of the 7th over, the first strategic timeout there. So we've got Rajasthan Royals currently 59 for 2. But yeah, you're right. I mean, I think Delhi need probably a couple of pretty good overs in a row. Otherwise, it's going to be over before it's begun really. Required run rate under 8. Rajasthan's probably not exactly, but roughly where they want to be at this stage in the match.
Yeah, I think Ben Stokes seems to be key for me. I think the longer he stays in, the more Rajasthan have got a real good opportunity to get the win here. I think he's in. He's looking good. I mean, Samson's just hit the biggest six you'll see in a while. So they can build a nice partnership here. I think Ben Stokes can obviously play the anchor if he needs to, but he looks like he's happy just scoring a boundary or two an over and just keeping out everything else.
Yep, singles, and that's all they're going to need. They don't need anything silly from here. So what is it? It's 103 runs required off 78 balls, which isn't going to worry anyone who's playing international T20 cricket. So especially with 8 wickets in hand. So we'll have to see. But I think Rabada probably needs to do something for his captain and bowl at least another tight over or two, take some wickets. But it'd be interesting to see as well, without Iyer on the field, just the sort of strategic direction that Delhi go in. Obviously, Ashwin's got captaincy experience, but obviously wasn't expecting to lead the side tonight. So I wonder if that'll make a difference to them going forward.
It'd be interesting to see actually when he puts himself back on it, that being the case. He's only bowled 1 over, only went to 3, and was really probably a pivotal over, one of the pivotal overs thus far, getting the wicket of Steve Smith. So it'd be interesting to see if he when he puts himself back into the attack.
Yeah, I don't think he'd want to leave it too long because obviously if you've not got any runs to play with, then you're not going to be particularly useful. But I think we'll probably see him sooner rather than later. In my opinion. So how many's he got left? He's got 3 left. Whereas and as well, I mean, despite being expensive, I've Nortje's bowled quite well, with his pace and obviously following up those ramps for 6. He did manage to bowl Joss Butler. So he does have options. So who have we got returning here? And it's the man himself actually. It's Ravi Ashwin.
Ravi Ashwin.
To bowl his second.
I think it was what over we're in now. So we're in the 7th over. So you think these next kind of 3, 4, 5 overs, probably the time for Rajasthan to start kicking on. But equally, if Delhi take another 1 or 2 wickets in these next portion of overs, then the pressure's back on Rajasthan.
Oh yeah, I mean 60 for 4 looks a lot worse than 60 for 2, doesn't it? So
yeah, exactly.
It's certainly not over yet. And just looking at that comparison, after 7 overs, Delhi Capitals were 52 for 2, Rajasthan 59 for 2. So it's fairly even Stevens at the moment. But you're right. I think Delhi didn't do so well at the back end. They really should have scored more runs than they actually did. So first ball from Ashwin there, and Stokes defends back to the bowler. There is no run, 59 for 2. So, Stokes won't want Ashwin to be getting on top of him here. And just as I say that, he smacks the ball down towards fine leg, 1 bounce 4. So 63 for 2. Like I said, he's going to want to. He's not going to want Ashwin to be dictating terms, and he's certainly doing that.
That was a terrific footwork from him there. He quick on his feet, which really just it almost helped him with the power of the shot, the way he kind of put his whole hip into that.
Yeah, he did, and he's followed it up well as well. Now he's just knocked the ball down to long on for a single. Just each time that Ben Stokes has scored a boundary, next ball he hasn't lost his head. He's just rotating. He's rotating that strike quite nicely.
Yeah, well, I mean, I think he's seen Josh Butler down the other end do 2 ramp shots and then get bowled the next ball. So I think he's
Well, quick single there. We've got Samson hitting the ball pretty much directly to short fine leg, but they do make it home. So 65 for 2 now, 7.4 gone. But yeah, you're right. I think Ben Stokes realizes that he needs to be the anchor here, and 33 of 27 balls is doing just that.
So Samson's just signaling something there. I don't know what.
What was he? Was he signaling something? Was he? Didn't no, it's another pair of gloves or something.
A pair of gloves, maybe.
Maybe another bat after that monster six that he smoked over long on.
Yeah.
Yeah, another single there to the total from Stokes. Last ball of the over here for Ashwin. Time to Samson, who just kind of gets a bit of an inside edge there, but they still take a single. It goes to short fine leg. Damage done really with the boundary in that over. So it's pretty simple. 8 runs off that over. So 67 for 2 is pretty much exactly what Rajasthan needs. And 8 overs gone. So 75 required in 92 balls. So like I said, my money's on Rajasthan at this stage.
Yeah. Sorry, 95 off 72 balls.
Did I not say 95? What did I say?
I think you said it the other way around. But
oh, did I? I said it. I'm too used to saying this Australian, 2 for 68 stuff. Sorry, 95 off 72 balls. My apologies. Axar at the other end now, bowling to Samson, who really puts his hit, sort of clears the front leg there, but does just manage to pick out the fielder on the deep square boundary there. There'll be 1. 68 for 2.
I think Patel's still having nightmares from that 6 he got hit before a couple of overs ago.
I'm surprised they got the ball back, to be honest. That was almost in the car park, that one. This time another reverse sweep from Stokes. He doesn't get all of it, but he has managed to clear the field, and that's gone for 4, 1 bounce forward past the third man boundary, which does always confuse me and makes me think it's the fine leg boundary, just because if you're gonna hit it in that direction, third man becomes fine leg in my educated opinion. See, that's again what Shikhar Dhawan was attempting to do. Patel again.
He's quite a tall man. It's quite a not a very natural movement the way he does his reverse sweeps. It's reverse shots.
Yeah, he does this sort of more of a kind of switch hit. Yeah, a bit like reminds me a bit of like Kevin Peterson, who was similar in stature. Obviously quite a tall man as well. There's another single just down to long on there. This time to Samson. So 74 for 2. Seems to me that the Rajasthan strategy here is to just get 1 boundary off each over and just singles pretty much every other ball. So, and that'll get them home quite convincingly. So,
I think Delhi need to be. I think they might need to be a bit more aggressive with their field here. Like they've got them all around the ring here and a few on the outer circle, but I think. Realistically, I mean, they've still got, there's still 80 odd runs to.
Sam shorter now from Patel, and Samson has just lifted that up and popped that over the square leg boundary for 6. That one's a shorter 6. That one's only about 30 rows back rather than the 50 rows back that the first one is. So that's moved the game on yet again. So end of the over. It's 81 for 2. Apologies for cutting you off there, Declan.
Samson looks absolutely lethal today. This just doesn't look like he's standing on song at all. I think Delhi Capitals really need to become a bit more aggressive here. They're in trouble of just letting this game drift away. I mean they've still got some runs to play with, and I think. As we've seen earlier, the easiest way to stop runs is by taking wickets. So I think, I think we might have lost the ball there.
Yeah, it looks like it. Well, I think the COVID regulations say that nobody is allowed to touch the ball other than the players. So I think if you ever hit it into the second tier of anything, obviously you're not going to be climbing the stand. Take too much time out of the game. So I think if that happens, then it's just an automatic ball change. So there we are. So Ashwin continuing this time to Stokes, who who pulls quite well, but again just manages to find Rabada on the deep square boundary there. So there's just going to be 1. It's like maybe they're going to try and get this finished as quickly as they can.
So Yeah, I think, as I was saying, I think the Delhi. I don't know. Maybe Rabana might be the option here, but it's they're at risk of just letting this game drift away here.
Mm. And especially with guys like Tuatia coming in, we know how absolutely destructive he can be. So, yeah, you're right. I think they need to take some wickets and soon, really, because yeah, Rajasthan aren't a side that are going to necessarily choke at the. They're not going to. There are players coming in down the order who can do the job for them.
Yeah. And I think they some would argue they probably got slightly deeper batting lineup than the Delhi Capitals had. So,
So Ben Stokes is very much trying that slog sweep down to deep square, and he seems to be picking out Kagisa Rabada with fairly continuing regularity. If I'm honest, I think if he's unlucky, he's going to hit it down. He's going to hit it down his throat sooner rather than later. But he's not there yet. Another one to the total, 85 for 2.
I mean, you do say that, but he's just as likely to absolutely put it straight over Rabana's head. So,
Oh yeah, absolutely. He's managing to hit it. He's hitting it in his direction fairly regularly. Here's Ashwin again, and it's looped up that time. But Sampson not particularly interested in trying to go for the big shot. Just knocks that down to long on for another single, 85 for 2.
One ball left from Ravi Ashwin here. I think he's done quite well to only get out of this over with 4 thus far, considering the way that Ben Stokes is striking the ball.
Yeah, and Ben Stokes is annoyed at himself there. He's just smacked that straight to short extra cover. But yeah, it's only 4 off the over. I think it's probably the last we'll see of Ravi for a while. He's only got 1 left now, so 3 overs, 1 for 15 is a pretty good return, considering that his team is going at 8.5 and over. But yeah, he just needs some support from some of his other bowlers actually.
Might be time for maybe a Stoinis or something like that to come into the attack.
It might be, yeah, that's true. That some of his pace variations, but yeah, it just doesn't. Nobody really seems to have troubled the batsman with any kind of consistency. Obviously, there was that over from Nortje, and who bowled Butler, but he went for a few before he did that, and obviously Ashwin got the wicket of Steve Smith. So yeah, maybe a bit of a change is required here.
So Delhi Capitals were 79 for 2 off after 10. So they were in a relatively similar spot, probably going slightly slower. So, I mean, as we see, it does change quickly. But I think Rajasthan just need to learn from what Delhi did poorly, really, and just bat out the next kind of 3 or 4 overs. And then you're into your last 5, 6 overs. It's make it easy for yourself down the track.
Yeah, absolutely. But yeah, these 2 batsmen, they seem like they're both in quite sort of murderous moods. As we see Tushar come back into the attack, I wonder if just looking at the camera work, I wonder if Shikhar Dhawan has actually taken the captaincy rather than Ravi Ashwin. It's kind of hard to tell. Oh, and Stokes charges down the ground and he's caught. Manages to pick out the man at long on. He'll be absolutely livid with himself. He didn't need to do that. And that's swung the pendulum right back into the Delhi Capitals' favour. I think, Ben Stokes really could have taken this away from them quite quickly, but he's gone now. It was a slower one actually, and it doesn't look like he picked it out at all. So he has to go 41 off 35 balls.
Terrific bowling that. I mean, no need from Ben Stokes, but
no, didn't need that. And you could see it as soon as he hit that, he knew that was going straight down. That's going straight down his throat there, down at long on. And isn't Deshpande happy about it? He's making no bones about that. So we're going to see Tuatia now, or who are we going to see next? It'll be interesting. Oh yeah, Ben Stokes disappointed with himself. No, we're not seeing Tuatia quite yet.
That's surprising considering. I mean, who have we got in now? We've got in.
Robin Utapa's in now. So it'll fall more to Samson now to take more of a leading role.
Yeah, Samson. So he's only played the 3 games in the IPL. He scored a 18 off 15 balls against the Sunrise the other night, and other than that, he scored a 17 and a 2. So he's kind of going to be asked to do a little bit more here.
I think he probably will. But there's a good opportunity for him here. But yeah, Stokes, just looking at that dismissal again, I think Stokes would be really disappointed. I think he really would have wanted to play the anchor role.
Yeah.
He's got nobody to blame but himself in that one.
It was almost like it was he just didn't get anything on it. It was he didn't pick the slow ball at all, and it was just poorly timed.
Just straight down his throat. So we've got a few field changes going on here, I think. And we're back. We're back now. So here's Tushar to Uthappa, and it's a shorter one which Uthappa ducks underneath. That'll be the one for the over. It won't be a no ball, so it's a dot ball, and so it remains 87 for 3 this time.
It was pretty rapid, that one as well. So
oh no, he's forgive me. He's been I think he's been no, it's been called a wide.
Been called a wide.
Oh, okay. So we've got some interesting thing here. There's been an appeal actually for obstructing the field. So you can see there's nearly a run out there, and the batsman just ran straight into the path of the ball there. So is that, I don't know, they have lodged an appeal. Have the Delhi Capitals? It'd be interesting to see what happens here.
I don't.
Okay, so they're having a look. The soft signal is not. Yeah, soft signal is not out. So something significant is going to have to happen here for it to be overturned. But if the batsman continues to run down the same line, I think he's well within his rights to stay where he is. He obviously had his back to the ball. So let's see. Yeah, I mean, he's not looking where the ball's going at all. So that's just a bit of unluck. But it's just unlucky, really. Yeah.
He does take a little glance. Okay, I think it'd be harsh to call him out for that. But I think he'd be in anyway. But
he'd be in anyway. But I think the third umpire wants to know if Uthappa has seen the throw and changed his direction. That's the quote.
I think he's seen his throw, but I think he's pretty well kept it run.
No, he's not seen it. He's seen he's going to throw, but he's not seen the angle that he's going to throw at it. No, that's surely not out. No, common sense has to prevail there. I would have thought. Yeah, and that's been given not out. Interesting. You don't see too many appeals for obstructing the field, but there we are.
No.
First I've seen in the IPL for a fair old while. And next ball has just worked nicely down to third man for 1, so it'll bring 89 for 3. In fact, I cannot remember the last time. I don't think I can ever remember somebody being out obstructing the field.
No. So just looking at Harper's international T20 average and strike rate, he's average is about 24.9, so around 25 at an average of 120. So he's pretty steady at the highest level. So so it's obviously a good person to have in, and he would have been in this situation before, I'm sure, in his long career. So while he hasn't scored many runs this season in the IPL, I think this is a perfect opportunity for him to just. I mean, Samson looks like he's putting everything out of the park that's anywhere near him. So I think this is a good opportunity for him just to play a bit of the anchor role. Make sure his team gets over the line here, and
Yeah, I agree.
Score some runs in the process.
And probably a tremendous place in the team. So I see here they've called a no ball from the last ball of the over there for Deshpande for overstepping. So the next ball is going to be a free hit. So it'll be interesting to see what Utapa can do with this.
I believe it's that's facing.
No, but there was a no ball, but they scored a run. So I think it's going to be Utapa. Yeah. So obviously, he can't be dismissed in this ball. And look at that, he manages to not go where he wanted it to, but he gets an inside edge and gets it down past fine leg for 4 runs. So that's 11 overs gone now, and what was going to be quite an okay over from an economy point of view has been kind of ruined, really. Obviously got a wicket there, but now there's been a wicket in 10 runs. So yeah, 95 for 3 now. So the Royals need only 67 from 54 balls. So never say never, but I think it's still a pretty fairly straightforward equation for Rajasthan, especially since Delhi's premier bowler, well, in this innings anyway, has only got 1 over left.
And they're going at a rate of 8.59, so they're doing it quite comfortably at the moment. Obviously, probably going for a boundary every over has helped them quite a lot,
Yeah, that's the thing. Just that one boundary each over, followed up with some singles, and just playing relatively risk-free cricket. They've obviously got a plan here, and they're sticking to it.
I'm surprised we haven't seen Stoinis thus far.
Yeah, so am I, and I wonder if that might be a little bit of not a failure, but just because Iyer's not on the park, it may not come to the forefront of Ashwin's mind or Darwin's mind, only because they've probably got a million other things to be thinking about, and they weren't expecting to be captaining tonight. But yeah, you're right. Maybe if you were Marcus Stoinis, just have a word in the captain's ear, say, look, throw me the ball, give me an over, and see if I can do a bit better, slightly better job than I did with the bat today.
I mean, he's I know Australia's used him at the death. Think back to the first T20 against England. I mean, to limited success, it must be said, but it's definitely an option as the overs keep ticking on.
So he's in again, and okay, yeah. So I mean, that's the thing. They don't really need to take too much risk here. 66 off 52. It's not a particularly difficult for them. So for all of our listeners here, you've got my 2-year-old that's just come home from nursery. So I'm going to say hello. So I'm commentating the cricket. Can you see? It's on the screen.
Just watch the cricket, please.
Well, we can watch the cricket in the next room, but I've got to go and talk about the cricket. So can you go with Mummy?
Yeah.
Good. The perks of having a toddler in the house.
And it's just Patel bowled Samson there, so that's a big wicket, that one.
That's a really big wicket. That's changed the complexion of the game. I know I've said that every time. Oh yeah, goodness me, didn't know much about that. It's went under his bat, and they're right back in it now. So maybe we need Tawatia to score to finish this off for them.
I don't believe it's Tawatia I believe it's Rahana Parag.
Yeah, no, it is. No, I know. Yeah, that's what they're saying. But I never know. He might get promoted. There's every chance. Yeah, it seems to be every time a batsman looks like he's just beginning to settle and settling into that anchor role. He just loses his wickets. So, but I think it's important to remember that Delhi did lose 3 wickets in the back end there. 3 in the last over or so. So if Rajasthan can just take this as deep as they can, then they're probably still in the box seat here.
So Parag 18. He scored a 42 not out against the Sunrise the other day, so he's definitely showing a lot of potential. He'll need to pull something like that out here for his team. Yeah,
and it's definitely possible, but obviously obviously with each wicket that falls, it's gonna be better for the Capitals. And yeah, it does look like that Shikhar Dhawan is leading the side actually, rather than Ravi Ashwin. So here he is with absolutely no helmet and no hat on. You don't see that very often. So he just works the ball down to long off for a single to get himself off the mark.
He looks a big lad for 18 too. He looks.
He does. He's as we say in Australia, he's had his Weet-Bix.
Yeah.
He certainly has. And yeah, Sampson with the on the replay there looks pretty disappointed with himself. So yeah, let's see what the young man can do. It's a really good opportunity for him. So Patel's in again, and again just work down to long on there. They seem to be scoring a lot of runs there, just tapping it down the ground. Notice there's a slip in now, so obviously they're trying to be as aggressive as they possibly can here.
Also, Jofra Archer, I mean, has scored some runs in the past couple of matches. I mean, I wouldn't want to rely on him, but there is that down the order as well, if need be.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, he probably shouldn't be relied upon to score many more than 20. But yeah, you're right. If you need sort of one big over, then Archer could be the go-to man.
Yeah, 100%.
And like from a neutral's point of view, I'd like to see, you always like to see a close game. So it might come down to the wire here. There's every chance. Is this the strategic timeout? It seems to be quite a long time between overs. No, I don't think there is. I don't think it is.
No.
So here's Nortje back into the attack, who just sort of wide outside off stump, and but it's well fielded there at backward point. Is that's Rahane there, isn't it?
Yeah,
he's done well.
It's difficult to get down to that. So just
oh yeah,
big hand on it.
Yeah, good piece of fielding there. Saved a few runs, absolutely. Here's Nortje in again, and this time Utapa does what he intended the last ball and slaps it through the covers to the boundary for 4. Rahane couldn't pick that one up. That went like a tracer bullet, that did. But yeah, it was in front of point. 4 runs to the total, so that brings up the 100 for Rajasthan Royals. So that's 103 for 4.
And just got Ryan Harris on our screen now. Obviously,
Is that Ryan Harris? Goodness gracious me! He's yeah.
It's definitely been enjoying his retirement.
Well, wouldn't we all? But yeah, I suppose that is Ryan Harris. Goodness. Here's Nortje, who's in onto his pads there, but sort of dug out to short mid wicket. Oh, he's the bowling coach of the Delhi Capitals. Interesting. I suppose it's this is the time of year for these kind of ex-players to make a bit of coin. There's enough franchises for everybody to be able to have a go as either a bowling coach or a batting coach or a consultant or something. Seems to be every member of every ex-Australian, New Zealand, South African, England cricketer seems to be able to get some kind of paying gig in the IPL coaching fraternity. But anyway. Whoa. Nortje in again, and Utapa just short and just helps it on its way over Ravi Ashwin's head at fine leg, and that's gone for 6. So
that was rapid, that one. He didn't have to get much on that for that to go to the boundary.
No, absolutely. Just swing get your bat out there and just hope for the best. That's an example of how pace can be a friend, but pace can also be your enemy.
100%.
That's just got the total going. 52 off 42 balls. Swung it back into Rajasthan's favour again.
Yeah, it is. It does seem to be that they're after a kind of a slower over, they'll get a couple of boundaries and get themselves back on track as far as the required run rate. Yeah,
they've obviously planned this innings out rather well. Not had too many, but I suppose that's the thing when you're chasing a fairly modest total. It's easy to stick to your plans, even when you do lose the odd wicket.
Yeah, I think 100%. I think
Last ball of the over, and Utapa is forward and defence into the offside. I'll say no, I'll have none of that. And that's the end of the over. It's 13 gone now, 110 for 4.
I think that they were calling, but looked like they were about to call a strategic timeout there.
Yeah, so you got the batting side can choose. It's between 13 and 16 overs. Am I right?
That's correct. Yeah.
So, yeah, I think I don't think this is the timeout quite yet. They normally push it a little bit further out than this.
I don't think it's a bad idea, actually. I think can definitely help help both sides. I mean, used right, I think you can definitely be used to your benefit.
Here's Patel again, and it's just a quicker ball there, and it's just pushed out into the covers, and there's no run. Darwin just changing the field there. Oh, and this time Utapa just kind of pulls away. Not sure why. There can't be anybody in front of the sight screen because there's nobody in the ground. Right, this time they're going to... Oh, there's a mix-up here, and goodness me. And Parag has managed to get himself run out at the non-striker's end. He went for that single and was sent back by Utapa. Turned around and had the stumps thrown down. Oh, I do feel sorry. He'll be disappointed with that.
That's silly and no need for it, really. It's been a
you got to feel for the 18. You got to feel for the 18-year-old, though. I mean,
yeah,
that's a horrible way to get dismissed. I suppose at least he didn't run his partner out, and that in some ways you kind of glad it's you and not you don't have to apologize to somebody else.
yeah. Especially the elder statesman there as well. So
yeah.
I mean, now we're heating up quite nicely. Now it's
110 for 5. So that's 32 runs needed off 39 balls. So yeah, all it's going to take now. I think it won't be too long until you see Kagise Rabada come back. I see that so Tuwati has come to the crease now. So let's see what he can do. Obviously, his reputation precedes him. They'll be wanting to see the back of him fairly quickly. I should suggest.
Yeah, 100%. I think one more wicket for the Delhi Capitals here, and it's definitely really, really looking like they've pulled it out of the fire.
True. It's a funny old game, this T20 cricket. Anything can happen.
Yeah, it changes in an instant. That's
So another dot ball there from Patel. So he's pulling away again. I'm not quite sure why he continues to do that, because there's obviously nobody in the ground.
No.
And I'm just having a cuddle with my 2-year-old again. Yeah, you are. And so he's going to come in for the second last ball of the over, is it? Here he is, second last ball of the over. Reverse sweeps over the head of short third man, which in fact becomes short fine leg, and that's gone to the boundary for 4. So that takes the pressure off slightly, I think.
It does indeed. Just lost my signal there, so I'll be back on in a second.
So here's that strategic timeout that we've been longing for. So all right. So Declan, 5 wickets in hand. Rosny 47 off 36. Where's your money?
I think it's with the Capitals. I think I just think with Urbana still got some overs left. Ashwin still got an over left. I think not much batting to come. I think the pendulum slightly swung towards Delhi then.
Yeah, I mean, I'll play devil's advocate, and I'll say that my money's probably still on Rajasthan, just only because of the two that are still at the crease. Looking at the current betting odds, let's see. I reckon it'd probably be relatively even. I reckon if we look at it. Yeah. Okay. So Rajasthan are still marginal favourites. So Rajasthan paying $1.67, Delhi paying $2.46. So marginally, or it's obviously there's not much in it, but Rajasthan still just favourites here. I think the market are probably interested in the fact that Tuwati is still at the crease, and we all know what he can do.
Well, yeah, I think. He's the key man now. I think it all kind of falls to him, and he's played this role quite well in recent innings. So, I mean, it's definitely in his locker, but it's really down to him.
Yeah, and also you can't expect Tuatia to pull them out of the fire every night, So I think Usapa really needs to. He's an experienced player. I think he really needs to use that experience and stay there right to the end.
Yeah, 100%. I think they need someone. They need someone to do the big hitting and the other one to knock the singles round. I think they need to really both play their roles here and not cut out anything. So I think there's been a lot of silly dismissals from Rajasthan. So I think they really need to play relatively sensible here while also scoring, 7 and over.
Yeah, don't lose your cool. I think, like I said, Delhi Capitals. You've got one over left from Ashwin, 2 overs from Rabada, and then probably another one from Norcha. Is Norcha finished? No, Norcha's got 1 left, and another one from somebody else from to another 2 from Deshpande if it's needed. So there's plenty of options there.
Yeah. I think. It's surely due to go down to the wire, but I think it's looking pretty balanced now. I mean, it wasn't 5 overs ago. I suppose that's the beauty of T20 cricket, isn't it?
Things can change super duper quick. So that's the end of the strategic timeout. So they need 47 off 36. So if you were anything but if they weren't 5 wickets down, I think it would be definitely Rajasthan's game. But it's just delicately poised here. So Rabada has 2 left, Norcha has 1, Ashwin has 1, and then 2 overs to be bowled between Deshpande and Stoinis. Obviously, Deshpande can't bowl both of them, so you might get your wish, and Stoinis might end up bowling perhaps the 19th over. Might be able to pull something out of the bag. He's a fairly good death bowler when he needs to be. So you never know.
I mean, I think that is another thing. I think if they can restrict the scoring in these next couple of overs and actually put the pressure on the batting team for the last kind of 3 or 4 overs.
Deshpande started as the 15th over with a wide, so that's probably not what Shikhar Dhawan will have wanted. So 46 required now off 36. Yeah, pressure's a funny thing.
And we've seen already in this IPL teams lose from seemingly inlosable positions.
Yeah, absolutely. Pulling defeat from the jaws of victory. His end again is Patel, and the top of this time works it out to the deep cover boundary. They'll take 1, but again, I think they don't need to do anything silly here. They can do exactly what they've been doing through these middle overs. They can get 1 boundary off each over at an appropriate time, and they can just score singles or so off every other ball, and I think then they'd be fine. They just need to keep their heads.
Yeah, it's I think God. And
you're obviously slightly further ahead of me because
must be.
because currently I'm watching Tuwatia take guard, which I'm not sure warrants a kind of. Ooh, here's Tushar again into Tuwatia, who oh goodness me, I see what you did. See what's happened there. He's just very nearly caught down at fine leg, but just Notches dropped that. Made an absolute mess of that. That really should have been. That really should have been taken.
That would have been absolutely crucial. That's like I was wondering if they all live to regret that because I mean everyone knows how much of a gun player Tuwatia is, and first ball.
Oh, well, Tuwatia, he also likes to help it on its way like that. He does score a lot of runs. Hooking and pulling. So could see what they were trying to do there, but that's a real let off for him. And
you just wonder if the ball, the fielder there was maybe not walking as quickly as it could have been because he left himself a lot of ground to recover there.
He did, but that's still a fairly regulation catch that he's taken. It's pretty low. I mean, obviously it's fairly low down when it's got to him, but you expect to be taking those even if you are sliding forward like that. Oh, and he's not happy. So yeah, two runs there now to Utapa, driven in front of deep cover. So it takes the score to 120 for 5. He's in again as Patel, and another little leading edge there. Driven so uppishly for a single down to long on. They'll take 121 for 5. Yeah, I wonder if that's a turning point in the match. I wonder if that that drop catch of
yeah, I can I can see that changing things because I mean, how many opportunities do you get to? I mean, how many missed opportunities do you get in T20 cricket? Not many. I think I think it's the old adage: catches win matches, don't they?
They do, absolutely. Doesn't matter which form of the game you're playing. It's absolutely correct. So the end of the over now. So 15 overs gone, and just a pretty regulation. I mean, aside from the drop catch, obviously, no real risk taken. 8 runs taken off it. 123 for 5 now. So they just need 39 off the last 30 balls. The pendulum just continuing to swing in Rajasthan's favour.
Yeah, Ricky Ponting not looking happy there on the bench.
I mean, Ricky Ponting rarely looks happy, but you're correct. I wouldn't want to annoy him in a cricketing context. He's a bit looking a bit sad there. He's odd. Is the Tasmanian?
Yeah, I do wonder if there's one more twist there. I mean, you think?
They've still got to get the runs. One more wicket, and it'll throw the cat amongst the pigeons.
Well, you're into the tail then, aren't you? And I mean, Jofra Archer came back, but
if they needed 18, maybe I'd want Jofra Archer coming in, but not if they need 38. That's just a little bit, a few too many. I think maybe for the next over or two, maybe another 2 overs. Just score 8, get that down to under 20, and then it'll probably be Rajasthan's game to lose. Here's Ashwin for his last over, so he'll want to get the breakthrough here. He can bit of a last chance saloon now for the for Delhi.
Spoke well for Ashwin. His economy rates is pretty low as well. I think he's been smacked a few times. Remember Ben Stokes hitting him for a terrific 4 on the offside, but apart from he seemed to recover well, and he seemed to keep it relatively tight in the current circumstances when a lot of these other bowlers have been pretty well snapped.
Yep, absolutely. But then, so it looks like they're being pretty watchful here against Ashwin. There's been a couple of dot balls now, so 3 dot balls actually, three dot balls in a row. No, interesting here. Ashwin just hasn't gone through with the delivery, but he's had a word with Utapa. I wonder if that was a man-cad word.
He is flying the flag for the Mancat, isn't he?
He is. He's doing his best to keep batsmen in their crease. So yeah, another dot ball there for Tuwatia. So there's a few jitters there in the Delhi in the Rajasthan dressing room, but I can see what they're probably doing. They're probably thinking, okay, let's see off Ashwin, and we'll make hay at the other end if we need to. So there's another dot ball there. Still continues to be 125 for 5.
I think, I mean, Rajasthan have recently thrown away a couple of victories, and I wonder if the pressure is kind of starting to show.
It's possible, yeah. Tuwatia wanted a single there but Utapa said no, send him back. So he's remains 124 for 5. One ball left in this over, but yeah. So I can see what they're trying to do, but yeah, you're right. If they go for it over next over, then they get a wicket. Then it makes it even more difficult. So there's a single off the last ball of the over there for Ashwin. So he finishes his 4 overs with a pretty respectable 1 for 17. Rajasthan Royals 125 for 5, requiring 37 off the last 4 overs to win. Maybe we're in for a super over. Goodness me.
God.
I've been sworn off super overs since July.
I bet you. It's surprising. Like, I think, I mean, I suppose with 2020 it does breed draws, but you think, like, how many draws have we seen in one-day cricket? Or it's very, very rarely it happens. So
you do see them more often in T20 than in any other form of the game. Absolutely, just by virtue of the fact that there's not as many balls to play with. It's an interesting stat here. So the Delhi Capitals were 132 for 4 after 16 overs. So it just goes to show how poorly they finished their innings, and yet Rajasthan Royals are 10 runs behind and a wicket behind, and yet we're saying that they're probably still more or less ish favourites.
Yeah.
So here's Rabada beginning the 17th over.
16th.
So it'd be interesting to see what his strategy is here. Yes, it's just single down to third man there off the first ball of the over.
I think I'm wondering if they're I wonder if they're regretting not scoring a few more runs off Ashwin's last over, just because thinking Rabana, while he has gone for a few in this game, is generally relatively hard to get away.
Yeah, I guess they're probably banking on the fact that so Rabada will bowl this one, he'll bowl this over, so this the 17th, and then he'll bowl the 19th, and you'll have Patel will bowl 1, Patel, sorry, Tushar will bowl 1, and then you'll probably have to have 1 from Stoinis. So I think that you're right. They're probably going to be looking to target specific overs, but yeah, they're making it more and more difficult for themselves, doing this kind of MS Dhoni-esque run chase strategy.
Yeah. I think.
Yeah, interesting. Nearly could have been caught and bowled there, but quite get to it. All right, here's Rabada in again, and shorter, lifted up into the outfield this time, but didn't quite time it. The fielder will come round there. They'll come back for 2. Managed to clear mid-wicket with relative ease, but hasn't found the boundary. So 128 for 5. Again, not quite as economical as Ashwin's over, but they'll want to find the boundary relatively soon, I think.
Yeah, I think the pressure's now the pressure's starting to show slightly. I think.
Mm-hmm.
I think. I mean, Rabana's not an easy person to hit, clearly, but they want to be getting on with it.
Yeah, it's Harper again. Missed timing one from Kagisa Rabada, who managed to get an under edge through for a single. But yeah, you're right. But then again, a couple of boundaries here, and the pressure valve will be released again. So it's just a case of being able to execute your skills at the right time, I guess.
Yeah, I think. I mean, this is the beauty of T20. It all can change so quickly, and
So here's the last. So this is the last ball of
second last.
Second last ball of the over. And here's Rabada, and Tawatia does exactly what you'd want him to do at this point in time in the innings, just uppercuts it over the keeper's head, 4 runs. So that'll ease the nerves. And you can see that in the in the Rajasthan dressing room. You really can.
That's a terrific shot under pressure.
He just arched his back and just ramped him over the keeper's head. He didn't actually move at all. His feet stayed in exactly the same spot. Look at that. That is some when we say in cricket, he's got some great footwork. Well, I mean, this guy's got some great back work.
That's a terrific shot under pressure. Like, I think
absolutely, just dinks that over there.
on 4 runs being just dropped, coming in at 6. It's cold as ice.
So there's 8 runs off that over, which I think they'll definitely take. Given that it was Rabada. So 29 required off the last 3. So it looks like it's Norcha to bowl out here. So we might avoid actually having. No, though, will we avoid? No, we might end up with a Stoinis, but Deshpande will probably bowl 1, and Rabada will bowl 1, and Norcha will bowl 1. But you never know. You never know. They might go to Stoinis for a bit of a last chance.
Yeah, I'll be surprised I haven't used him, to be honest with you. I think like he's quite handy as a all rounder, and
the thing is that Norchi's got some serious pace, and Tawatia is very good at using pace, as we just saw. So unless Norcha bowls 6 Yorkers, I think he's probably going to lose one of these out the ground if Tawatia is there and he can get anything underneath it. But hey, I could be wrong. We'll see. It's going to be a bit of field changing here, I think.
Well, it's not.
Sorry, no, go.
The other thing I think is you want your lightning quick to be bowling to the tail, ideally, wouldn't you? Like I think you can see Norcha really, like the tail end really struggling to his pace.
Of course, yeah. Here he is to Utapa, who tries to ramp him, and he's missed it. It's actually a slower ball from Norcha, but they come through and they'll take a bye. So that moves the score on to 134 for 5. But yeah, you're right. Tailenders don't like pace. But at this stage though, they know that Rabada's going to have 1 and Tusha's going to have 1. So yeah, I mean, maybe it'll be a case of swapping them, but obviously they've not chosen to do that. But that brings Tawatia on strike. So hold on to your seats, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, yeah.
Anything could happen. There's a few chewed fingernails up there in the dugout.
Yeah, I don't think I've seen a more nervous looking bench than the Rajasthan bench. I think they're feeling all the emotions here.
I think they know, particularly given that they're lying 7th on the table and that they've lost a few that they really didn't deserve to. I think they definitely need this. But anyway, let's see what happens here. Here's Norcha to Tawatia, who oh god, he didn't know anything about that, but that gets that sort of up and over the keeper's head almost, but it goes down to 3rd man, and they'll just take 1.
Very lucky there. He's absolutely got nothing on that.
He almost just sort of swiped across the line, and he was just lucky to get an outside edge there. That could have very easily bowled him, or he had no idea where that went. But that just goes to show how quick Norcha really is.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a massive top edge there. Interesting. But it wasn't going to be dropped again. It wasn't a catch this time, at least. Here's Norcha again, who clean bowls Utapa, middle stump.
That was a terrific piece of bowling. That
That was a terrific piece of bowling, absolutely. And this, this exposes the tail now. So you were saying that tail enders don't like quick bowling. So maybe Jofra Archer's going to have to come out and face the music now.
Well, yeah, I think he is. I mean, now who's your money? I think the pendulum's definitely well and truly swung with Delhi.
Yeah, Delhi paying $1.53, Rajasthan paying $2.86 currently.
Wow, that's still quite still quite high. Like,
yeah, well, I mean, Tuwati is still there, and there's actually, there's really not that many runs to play with. There's only, what do they need? 27. I mean, 27 is one good over, and then and some average overs. And with Archer coming in, I mean, he's not gonna just knock it around. So these two are either going to get bowled, or they're going to hit a few boundaries, in my opinion.
Yeah, I mean, this will. Yeah. I think but Jofra Archer doesn't do cricket without fireworks, does he? I think it's bat or ball. I think.
Yeah, exactly.
It's entertainment guaranteed.
He's a lot of things, but he's not boring.
Yeah.
So I think I wonder if Archer's going to pull out his golf swing.
Yeah.
Bring out his 3 wood. So we'll see what happens. So there's 3 balls left in Nortch's over. I think after this they're going to have to target. Tushar. I wouldn't want to take it to the last over with Rabada. No. Also, Archer gets a bit of a sort of hits it high on the bat there. He's mishit it, but he's managed to get it down to long on, and he's taken 1. So that brings Tuwatia back on strike. Archer seems annoyed with himself there. I think he tried to hit it out the ground actually.
That had all the hallmarks of a number 8 batter, didn't it?
Oh, it had all the hallmarks of number 10 batter or something, I think.
Yeah.
But yeah, it looked like he wanted 2 as well, and Tuwatia said, "No, thank you very much. I'm a recognised batsman in this situation."
Yeah.
I'll be taking it from here. Thanks very much. So the field changes. So they're moving some people out into the deep. So we'll see what happens. 2 balls left for Nortje, and this is Tuwatia's game to win. But yeah, you're right. I think my money's slightly back onto the Delhi Capitals now that Uthappa's gone.
100%. I think. We'll just have to see, but I think Tuwatia has to really pull something out, and he hasn't looked all that capable thus far.
No, not yet. It's interesting that a lot of time's been taken to change the field, and I guess with Shirazaya off the field, I guess Shikhar Dhawan says, well, they can't really find me for slow over rate as the captain if I'm not really the captain. So I think he's probably just gonna take his time here and not worry about it too much.
Well, I mean, that's one thing that Owen Morgan has done really well as a captain, is slowing down, taking some time in these death overs to really work out a plan. And
another slower ball there from Nortje, which Tuwatia doesn't have much of an idea about, and it's a dot ball. So yeah,
God, he's hasn't looked all that inspiring thus far from Tuwatia, but I mean,
no, it hasn't. No, but they've bowled well to him. They've bowled full. And they've not allowed him to kind of, and they've changed. It changes the pace as well. So here's the last ball of the over now to Tuwatia, if we're going to get there, and let's see what he does. How many runs off the over so far? 3 runs off the over so far. So they've been pretty good at restricting it. 3 runs and a wicket. No, you can't really ask much more of your bowlers. As a captain, can you, at this stage in the innings? Right, here's Nortje, who's on his way for the last ball of his spell. To Tuwatia, it's a full toss actually. He managed to drive it just wide of mid on, but doesn't beat the field, so he just gets 1. But that means he will keep the strike. So Delhi Capitals 137 for 6, 2 overs remaining, and 25 left.
I think they need a boundary probably after the first couple of balls of this over, I'd say.
Yeah, and it looks like that Darwin is actually going for the aggressive option, and he's asking Rabada to bowl the 19th. So that's interesting. You know, you either get a because obviously if they defend him, and the last over for Deshpande or Stoinis, they need 17 or something. That's going to be a fairly tall order. So I like this from Darwin.
Well, that's what we found a lot of the time is that the 18th overs the 19th over rather is almost as important as the last over, just because I think it sets the tone for the last over.
Yeah, I mean the last over, anything can happen. You can have 4 wides. You can anything you can happen. No ball, anything can happen. So here's Rabada to Tawatia, who makes himself some room and actually makes it a lot harder for himself and just gets a single there down to mid on. So the pressure continues to build, especially now that Archer's on strike.
It's 24 off 10. It's a little over 2 a ball. So
Archer needs to have a swing here, not die wondering. They're only 6 down, so I know there's not a lot of batting to come, but I think the worst thing that Archer can do here probably is to just have some dot balls, and after that he's just swung and missed, and that's a dot ball.
And it's got absolutely nowhere near that. I think he needs to get bat and ball here. That's the most important thing from this is bat and ball.
Just bat on ball and run. Absolutely right. So we shall see. In some ways, like I said, you're better. In some ways, you're better off getting out than you are getting. Just conceding dot balls like this.
100%.
There's another dot ball, another swing and a miss from Jofra Archer. And now money is firmly on the Delhi Capitals. But with Tawatia there, I wouldn't count them out completely. They still need 24, so it could be a hell of a last over coming up.
Yeah.
But then you would need a hell of a last over to score 20. That's 4 a ball. All right, so Rabada into Archer, who does manage to connect this time, but he hits it straight to point, and he's caught. So 24 off 9, and in some ways,
he must have been listening to you. Either get a bat or ball or get out of here, and he decided to get out of here instead.
Yeah, and he thought, I can't be bothered right now, so I'll get caught at backward point. But so Tawatia just needs to get on strike now, and Rabada has done exactly what his captain has asked of him. He's conceded 1 run off this over.
That's his value there, isn't it? He's bowled perfectly this over thus far, and really and
he's going to leave about 20 or so to be got off the last over.
Yeah.
So this brings Gopal to the crease, who I don't know too much about as a batsman. I can see an all T20 cricket he averages 13.09, the highest score of 39. But that's
so in his last three T20 batting performances, he's got a 2, a 1, and a 5 all out. So
well, he could probably do, from a Rajasthan perspective, he could probably do with getting a 1 and giving Tawatia the strike for the last over. So if he can get 1 here, we'll see what happens. Right, here's Rabada, and he does get 1.
He does get his 1.
Gets his 1. Hits that to mid off. Scampers through for 1. So there's 1 ball left off this over, and this leaves Tawatia in a bit of a quandary, really, because score 1 and obviously it doesn't help the run rate at all, but then you get yourself back on strike, but hit a boundary, but then Gopal has to face the last over. So in some ways I wonder if he probably wants a single and then back himself to score what would be 20, 21 21 off the last. That's a tall order, that.
That is a tall order.
Right, so here's Rabada to Tuatia, who slaps it into the onside. Yeah, it just takes one. He probably could have taken 2 there, but he's turned that down. So interesting choice. Very MS Dhoni-esque.
Yeah, well, he's gonna have to embody all of MS Dhoni for this last over. 22 off 6.
22 off the last, so 22 to win, 21 for a super over. My money is very firmly on the Delhi Capitals right now.
If you're a Rajasthan fan, you'd be wondering how this one got away.
Yet again, yeah, I know.
Yeah.
They were 60 odd off the power play. Stokes batted. Stokes looked really good, and Butler looked really good for his for the short stay. But to be honest, Robin Utapa really needed to step up today, and their middle order didn't do them any favors.
No, I think the middle order really let them down quite a lot here. I think just someone needed to stay and stick to get runs really, and not all that quickly. It was needed. It just needed to be. Just need to
have somebody hang around.
Yeah.
So, but you never know. There could be a brain explosion here. You could get 5 wides. Anything is possible. So, hold on to your seats, ladies and gents. Tuatia 12 off 15. I'm not sure. Has he scored a boundary? Oh no, he did. He scored that uppercut, didn't he?
Yes.
The only one. So it's Deshpande to bowl out. So he starts with a wide.
So there you go. Four wides. That's what we said.
outside the off stumps. It's a bit too wide there. So
I don't know how wide that was. I think that was in the line personally.
Yeah, that's marginal there. But like I said in the last innings, I don't like seeing them called wide because the batsman is playing for the wide, which isn't really in the spirit of the game in my experience. Outside off stump again, and Tuatia does swing hard, and he's managed to. It's not gone for 6, but the fielder caught it and threw it back in. So they'll just get 2. Will they get 2 or they get 1? There was some poor running between the wickets there. Tuatia is not happy at all that they didn't come back for 2 here. Just checking what's happened here. In fact, if it is a boundary, I don't think it is. I think he's managed to get rid of it before he's gone over the rope. Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah,
that's an excellent piece of fielding, sort of from the Ben Stokes school of catching.
Yeah. So 20 off 5.
20 off 5.
That is really poor running between the wickets.
That's actually really poor. They needed to get back for 2 there. Tuatia was livid. I mean, there's just no way now because, unless Gopal manages to tee off and hit the next ball for 6 or something, even a single 19 off 4 makes it near on impossible. So yeah, there we go. So there's a single there off the 4th ball of the over. But unless Tuatia goes 6-6-6, it's going to be all over for the Rajasthan Royals.
Yeah,
how different the game would be. How different that game would be if that did go for 6. If that was 2 inches, longer.
Yeah, we might be talking about something quite slightly different.
Yeah, absolutely. It would be 10 off 4 rather than 19 off 4 with the right person on strike. So anyway, 4 balls left. Might have 5 wides left. No, and Tuatia's not even bothered to run. He's his partner's come right down the other end but no, he's given up now, which is a real shame to see. You'd like to see them play hard to the end, but
well, maybe he's thinking 18 to 3 6s gets you a super over.
Sure, that's true. You're not wrong, because you're not going to do it in 2s, and that's true. You've got to find the boundary. So Ricky Ponting's looking a bit happier now.
Yeah.
Right, here we go. It's got to be 6-6-6, and it's absolutely not. That's gone straight up in the air. and who's catching that? Nobody caught that.
No.
Well, goodness me, it's a bit of a farcical end to this game.
Yeah,
19 off 2 now, so it's now mathematically impossible. So as long as Oh, they took a single. As long as the 2 balls are legal, at Delhi Capitals are going to win this. Goodness me, this has been oh God,
Golf just ran right in the way of that.
Gopal is he's just covered himself in glory here with his running between the wickets. Goodness me. I'm sure there would have been a bigger appeal had there been more significance on that. Oh no, he's managed to smack the ball to the boundary for 4 when it doesn't matter. So there we go.
Maybe Tuwadi was holding the strike all along. Maybe that's why he was only running the 1. Maybe he thought, actually, I'll do this instead.
Maybe, but the body language of the 2 batsmen suggests that they're probably not particularly good friends. At least they might not be after this.
No.
But yeah, so last ball of the match here, and they need an improbable 14 runs to win. So there it is, and it's gone back down to the boundary for. Oh no, he's caught off the last ball.
Dollied straight up.
And, so that's an excellent defense of a fairly modest total by the Delhi Capitals, I must say. So at the end,
they win by 13 runs. So did it quite comfortably in the end.
And the last 5 overs went for 25. So
that's some terrific death bowling, that is.
That really is. So that's a bit of a textbook on how to do it. And Tuwatia remains 14 not out, having scored 1 boundary. So bit of a shame for him, but at least he wasn't dismissed. Helps the average out. But there we have it.
So what do you make of all that? I think Delhi, in the end, probably deserved their win, and the bowling attack came through for them, really.
Absolutely.
I think Rajasthan will be absolutely livid with how they threw it away, especially with the wickets they conceded. I think there's really no excuse for that at this level. That some of the dismissals all at once as well.
No, I completely agree. They threw that away. Some of the running between the wickets, just at times when they needed to be sensible and just conserve and just save runs for the back end. But it's interesting. Both teams did struggle at the death. So it goes to show that it was probably quite a bit of a slow pitch. But yeah, I mean, Delhi Capitals deserve their win today.
Yeah, 100%. All right. Well, there will be more of this to come in the future. We'll post it on our social medias. Thank you so much for being with us today, and make sure you like and share and subscribe. And thank you to you, Richard, for commentating along with me. And I will see you again soon.
Absolute pleasure. Take care, everyone.
Okay, and we are out.